what's truth? Are you tired of being so confused? You feel like you're more fucked up than the lies on the evening news. Well, just step right in. We can talk about it all as friends. And if you want, we can hug and kiss and make up for the party ends. Agree or disagree, stop offering me. 'Cause I'm everything you want, damn sure what you need. I won't tell no lies, back up on the facts with truth. And if you can't get down with that, you must be somebody's new.
Howdy y'all, this is Damani Felder. These are perilous times in American history, and now more than ever we need individuals who are willing to wage war on the ideological battlefield with like-minded individuals. And I can think of no better place to start than my friends at the Don't Unfriend Me show. So thank you for being here, and enjoy the show.
Come on, man. Can you feel the pain? Into him now about this new world. Ain't no track. Papa's got a brand new eye.
Adjusting transmitter output.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me show with your hosts Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.
You know, isn't it always kind of a cool thing there, Leeroy, when you go through a piece of intel and you assess and you look at it and you go, okay, here's the narrative, here's what we're hearing, but we're going to go ahead and go a different direction. And then like 6 or 7 months after you do that, you get confirmation and you're like, yeah, that's right. I did that.
I did that. Yeah. A lot of times, intelligence assessments have assumptions that are built into them. Because what that means is that, like, if you're going to follow a logical chain, that you have to make certain assumptions and you have to list out what those are. And usually during the course of peer review, like, everything will be examined again.
Yeah.
I have been both the victim of it when I had an assumption, but I didn't list it. And I was told, oh, nope, you got to go back and make a quick correction before this goes out. And then I've also had situations where I made one that was listed that had never been listed before. And I'm like, all right, so I have added something to the process, and I don't know.
Yeah.
It's comforting in a way, I guess.
Well, yeah, it's nice when you get it right. You know, it's nice when you get it right. So, it's official. I have 48-hour AIDS. I thought it was 24-hour AIDS, but it's turned into 48-hour AIDS, and like it's coming out of the eyeballs. It's coming out of the nose. I sneeze, and it literally looks like
you look like a party favor.
It looks like a crock pot, like an Instapot that blew its silicone seal. It's not pretty. So I'm pretty, my nose is pretty raw. I'm sick, folks. I mean, I'm like, I don't get sick, and I am sick. Like I can't even walk up the stairs. I tried to go and run, and that didn't work out. So I'm like, all right, I'll just lift. And then I tried to lift. No. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll drop it by 80%. I'll do 20-pound weights. No, that didn't work either. So and then you can't sleep. because you're fever dreams. And so you have that repetitive thing going on where you just constantly keep feeding yourself the same bit of information for like your entire time you're sleeping. And it drives you insane. Like mine was, I was editing 3 videos with white text, and it was 5 words, 3 words, and 2 words on the videos. And I couldn't read what they were, so I kept having to play them because you can't read in your dream, whether you guys know that or not. You're incapable. You may think you are, but you're not. Your mind plugs it in later. But if you try to read text or read a book or read something you know intimately, like a birthday card or something or a poem, you can't read it. You can only recall it. So unless you have a photographic memory, which is completely different. I'm digressing. The point is that I kept having this repetitive dream, and then, coughing and hacking and leaking all over the place. So needless to say, yes, I just described what everybody goes through, but this one is bad because I don't get these and I feel like shite. So there it is.
I get it, brother. I get it.
Okay, I know. I'm going through it.
Have a hot toddy.
I already did. And it didn't work. So I think I'm gonna have to do it again. Maybe spike my Sudafed, Mucinex, blah 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 blah. Whiskey. It's all I do, and that tends to take care of it. Welcome to the Donut Fremy Show. My name's Matt. This is Leeroy. It's going to be a night like last night's show. That's you can't. That's still somewhere in the stratosphere. It was great. It was great. Tonight's show is going to be fun. We're going to have a good one. So we're going to go over some stuff. First of all, donations are up on the board, $300. Pardon my voice. I will try to project. If it goes out, well, that's just going to be tough. I've got some hot tea concoction to make me feel
While
better.
he's sipping on his tea, how about a quick round of introductions? Matt is a several-year Navy veteran, did intel for with the teams for several years. He and I went through some of the same schooling. We had been deployed to the same locations. I ended up staying in a bit longer. I'm still in, and I'm a 20-plus year veteran. I've been doing intel for 20-plus years now, and I do it both professionally and contract work. And it's good stuff.
Yeah, I was called a one and done the other day, and I was like, "Really?
That's not fair, though."
Well,
right?
no, but then I said, so I took it, right? I took it because I was like, this person's military, and then, because it's just military, right? It's fine. It's like getting called a pogue or whatever else, Yeah. And I'm like, okay, and then I said, so hey, by the way, at the end of the conversation, when did you serve? What? Oh, I didn't. And I'm like, oh boy, you fucked up. Like you done,
got it.
You done fucked up, Aaron. Like that's like calling a black man the N-word. Like if you're not a veteran, you don't get to say one and done. You don't get to say pogue. You don't even get to say anything. You don't even get to say, and you should never say, I wanted to join, but that is the worst. Like, that's like a girl going, oh my God, like, do you want to have kids and get married on the first date? Is a non-veteran telling a veteran, like, dude, I wanted to join, but
Did you go into your Jack Nicholson mode where you were like, you want me on that wall?
You need me.
Yeah, I would rather you pick up a weapon and stand a post, but you didn't have
way.
balls.
I don't give a damn what you think you're entitled to.
Yeah.
I ate breakfast 300,000 yards from 400,000 Cubans who are trained to kill me. So don't think you can come down
sound
here.
Better doing that with that cold voice.
Yeah,
it actually sounds
white uniform.
Yeah.
Make me nervous. Nothing like saluting a woman in the morning. Promote them all, I say. Leeroy and I have we have a particular set of skills that make us nightmares for people like you. We only need to hear it once.
You don't ever want to be on the receiving end if that ever truly did happen.
No, and you don't ever want to play us in Trivial Pursuit. And I've never played Trivial Pursuit with Leeroy, but I'm pretty confident you don't. It's one of those things. All right, let's rock and roll. I almost joined, but right, it's totally this. Like, oh God, what's the excuse? Yeah. Let's see. It's I went to college instead. It's that I had bad feet. I had flat feet. It's, I thought I could best serve my country as an economist.
The one that I love the most is, I could never make it through boot camp because I would just hit the
Right.
You know,
I just
hit the
punch somebody.
committing. Yeah, and you're like,
I just punch somebody. I just punch them.
dude, you're gonna get smoked.
I would kill my office. Oh, dude, my first lieutenant, I'd fucking kill him. Lighten up, Francis.
Yeah. Oh, good old war
I
notes.
gotta stop. All right, I don't feel like this. It's good to see we just broke 100, folks. Spam the like button on Tonto's show last night. The fact that we had 200 on, and we only had like 85 likes, which I know it was distracting because it was a damn good interview. But do me a favor, hit that. We're gonna have some fun tonight. We're gonna go over just a couple things. We're gonna talk about Iran. I'll tell you, Leeroy and I are watching this close. He's watching it from the inside knowledge, and I'm watching it from the outside perspective. And I'm watching message traffic that I can listen to and watch. And I'm looking at satellite imagery, and I'm looking at troop movements, and I'm looking at the things that are unclassed that I can, well, borderline unclassed that I can I can scratch the surface on. And he can say certain things and can't. So right now, situational awareness is important. So we're just going to go into that just for a quick sec and take a look at one of my favorite apps in the whole world. If you are not a member, UA Live is the shiznit. It's, you know, if you're looking for just really good info, really good geodata and real-time news that's unfiltered, this is the place. About 4 hours ago, Fox News was told the last time we entered the Iranian nuclear facilities that were bombed was days before the attacks. And you remember when Leeroy and I broke those down, I think we both were pretty adamant on this, that they had somebody on the inside multiple times. And whether it was IDF or the United States, but that they had human intelligence to know where those specific storage reactors were and where they were spinning up exactly, that they had real-time intel, because those were big facilities. So it's nice to see that we've been confirmed on that we were confident they had human intelligence, and there it is. Trump said 4 hours ago, and we'll get into Leeroy here, Trump said bad things will happen if no agreement is reached with Iran. This is a little bit of a chess play, but there are. I said this the other day. They say that this is just as big as 2003, or just as big as the first Gulf War. I believe it's bigger, because you're not looking at the over the horizon targeting capabilities that we have now that we didn't have then. We'll let Leeroy talk about that. Peace in the Middle East cannot be achieved if Iran possesses a nuclear weapon. That's pretty freaking clear. Keep building or else. The next 10 days could decide the fate of the agreement with Iran. And then also today, we'll see where things go between Israel and Iran. UK is blocking Trump from using RAF bases from strikes on Iran. That doesn't matter because we have this little piece of property and we don't give a shit. And this is called Diego Garcia, and we can go ahead and hit the entire Middle East until the cows come home from this location. And then we need to. We have CENTCOM and we have Ramstein and other places to come from. That's and fair. UK is blocking Trump from using RAF strikes in Iran, like I said. And then Polish citizens in Iran should leave immediately. Prime Minister Donald Tusk said on Thursday, warning that was due to potential armed conflict that is on the horizon. Leeroy, you got some splaining to do, Lucy. What can we anticipate?
What can we anticipate? Well, there's not a lot I can talk about right now. I am privy to some stuff that I was made aware of today. I will tell you that the current planning it's big. This is not small. I have a timeline, but I didn't get a whole lot past that. Now, that being said, just having done this for so long, I will tell you that in all likelihood, this will probably be we were talking about this 2 days ago on the show. This would be something that is going to happen very fast. This will likely be an in and out type scenario. And I would also, but big, very big. And I am, if I were a betting man, I would say that most of the missile locations, radar sites, command and control structure, that will be the first things to be neutralized. And yeah, then I guess it's game on then. Right?
This will be big, and this will not look like Venezuela. This will not look like Baghdad.
This will be far more kinetic. Yeah.
Yeah. This. You're going to move some earth on these strikes, and they will be simultaneously executed. They will be swift, and they will be precise and lethal. Lethal is the word. That's the operative word. This should be called Operation Lethal. Because the sheer amount of armaments that, okay, this is what you need to understand. You don't bring that much juice unless you plan to make a few cocktails.
Yeah.
So if the plan is to make a few cocktails, then they're going to make the full batch. They're no half measures, Walter.
Yeah.
If they go in, it'll be the last time they go in for 20 years. Let's just put it that way. Go ahead.
Remember that movie, Crimson Tide, and that one officer is trying to talk everyone into. They've got Vigo out in the hallway, and, the little guy is yelling at him. He's like, "You don't put on a condom unless you're ready to."
They're fuck. That James Gandolfini
That is
there.
perfect. Yeah.
That's
exactly it.
What a great, that movie was so not Hunt for Red October, but it was the Iron Eagle of Top Gun. Like Top Gun was Iron Eagle was full of shit too. Like, let's just be honest with you, right?
Oh God. Yeah.
Iron Eagle was horrible, but so was Top Gun, but still Top Gun was at least feasible outside of F-14's dogfighting MiGs, but F-5 aggressors or T-38s, get good luck. Or T-1s for that matter. I mean, sorry. But the point is, they're faster, they're smaller and more maneuverable. Yeah, and the 14 turns like a truck and has a quarter of the speed of those MiGs. But and they're actually had early on over the horizon targeting. So
yeah, that was the first radar system that could track 24 targets simultaneously and then fire it like 6 of them all at once.
No joke. And those weren't MiGs; they were T-38s or F-5s or T-1s, as you would call them. All versions of those. But the MiG that they were pretending it was, I think, was what, the 27 or.
I don't remember.
31. That's SU-27. So it wasn't the SU. So it was probably the 31 or the 29. It doesn't matter. Folks, the point is I feel the need for speed. So listen, if it's going to cook off, this is the way Trump works. Trump puts out a deadline. Iran asks for 2 weeks. That means they got 10 days. See, Trump is going to, they asked for 2 weeks. We want to negotiate for 2 more weeks. And Trump's like, sure, we're having good conversation. And he's going to hit them when they least expect it. I think 10 days sounds really good to me. And that would fall on this Saturday or Sunday, this weekend, if he's going to go in and do it. Also looked at weather. You look at all sorts of things. You look at temperature, you look at weather, you look at overall sight lines. There's a lot of things you look at. And there's some good opportunities for windows on Saturday and Sunday. That's what I'm saying. I think that's what Leeroy's scratching on. And maybe he hadn't said that, but that's what I think you'll see. Okay. All right. So let's hang in there, and
Matt.
It'll be, thanks, buddy. It's going to be a big window, and it's going to light off. You know what I mean? This is going to be big. You're going to be hitting 9 different provinces. This could be very well equated to something similar with what Vladimir Putin did to Ukraine, but bigger and better and more effective. So what they did to Ukraine was actually quite impressive. I'm just letting you know, for a strike capabilities, what Russia did to Ukraine was actually quite impressive on the first initial strike. Go ahead, Leeroy.
Oh, I was just going to say, I don't know how dumb you have to be in Iran. I mean, you just saw, first of all, if we rewind the clocks back when we're talking about the nuclear program that was erased, they didn't, there was hardly a response from that. It was just like, yep, we get it. Right. You got us.
We're gonna launch some stuff over Qatar. We're gonna tell you 9 hours ahead of time, and we're gonna miss on purpose.
They didn't want any sort of retaliation that was legitimate. Yeah. And then you fast forward 3 months, and we went into Venezuela and took what?
Read what Sherry said.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Shh.
Gotcha.
Be very, very quiet.
We're hunting wabbits.
We're hunting wabbits.
And then we go and take a dictator out of Venezuela with no American lives lost. Yeah. And that operation lasted all of about 15 minutes. Like, at some point, you got to go, oh, like, this is not a joke.
Yeah.
Like, we can really put a hurting on somebody. And so now you're fast forwarding again, and you're like, wait a minute, we're being threatened with what? And what do we threaten to do? I just saw it on the news a little while ago. That Iran had looked like they had dug a bunch of graves, like 5,000 graves. This was on the news. And basically they said, yeah, we're waiting for you, America. We're ready to fill all of these with the bodies from your soldiers. And we're like,
yeah,
wow, okay.
Good luck.
Somebody's not been paying attention in class.
Yeah. Couple things. I just want people to make sure you guys understand, and we're all understanding. If there's a full moon in the United States, is there a full moon in Iran? Who knows? So ask yourself that question. Will it be past the new moon ecliptic? Will it be into a crescent moon? It will actually be one of its lowest profiles based upon the mileage, based upon where it is at in the hemisphere. And I want to bet you a bunch of money that it will be past its new phase and be at a crescent. If I know the area, like I know the area, Saturday and Sunday, it'll be at one of its least brightest phases. Tell me if I'm right, Leeroy.
What, with regard to the phases?
Thought you were looking
it
up. Yeah, I thought you were looking it up, and I ran. Oh shit! I thought you were looking up. See, I was like, this could be the greatest assist in history. Leeroy's going to come and go. Actually, Matt, I just looked it up, and you are right. Shit.
I'm sure you are. I've never had any reason to doubt you. Let me look it up.
I'm looking it up right now. Saturday, February 21st, 2026. The moon will just pass the new and beginning to brighten in the western sky after sunset, a very thin waxing crescent. Sunday, the moon will be in waxing crescent phase with about 28% of its face illuminated and visible in the evening sky after sunset. Gee, it's like I've done this.
Wrong. You forgot to start off with what
the question. Shit. What is a crescent phase lowest disproportion in the full that it could possibly be? It'll be the darkest time of the month on that. So I love that you went to the moon.
Double, folks.
You're very, 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 very smart, Sherry, to go for that. Yeah, she says, hello, darkness, my old friend. That's correct. But also weather, right? You got to look at the weather patterns. You got to look at other things. But understand this is sometimes a full moon is actually a good thing for these type of strikes because the after intelligence that you get from your asset damage collection and your overall, what's the acronym?
I'm sorry, Alex. I'd like Letits now.
What is the acronym?
For which
BDA. Your BDA report will be more effective.
Battle damage assessment. Yeah.
With normal optics. Now, understand we don't need BDA anymore. We have some very, very high tech capability that can go through weather, penetrate buildings, and do other shit. But overall, even a little bit of extra moonlight doesn't help from the satellite guys. Bobby Richardson, 103.48. Holy shit, Bobby. Thank you. Love you, honey. You're the best. Weather's good. The weapon systems that we're using, where we're going, we don't need roads.
Quite legitimately.
You don't worry about this shit. Either you're going to be flying at 65 to 72,000 feet, or you're going to be coming in over the horizon, and weather's not going to matter. So we're going to be fine, folks. Let's everyone hang in there. Now, do we want to do this?
Oftentimes, it's the NGA, the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency. They're typically the ones that get tagged with a lot of the BDA when it's something that is of this scale. If it's something smaller, usually you'll have, predators and other drones that are circling the area, and maybe you might get some BDA off of some of those. You'll have some imagery analyst tucked in a closet somewhere who will just say, oh yeah, 3/4 of the building's knocked down, check, right? But on something of this scale, especially when you're dealing with things like potentially underground facilities, almost certainly you have to use NJ, who has some of those expanded capabilities.
Yeah, and then also you're going to have Iran has a plethora of its own imagery and surveillance cameras that they use all over that you're going to be able to get intel because we're read into their systems too. So understand you're also going to get real-time analysis from people in apartment buildings. There is a shit ton of high apartment buildings in Iran all over the 9 provinces. You're going to have plenty of human intelligence from a civilian standpoint too. And here's the thing, when that building no longer squawks and talks, that's a good sign that it's not there anymore. So there's a lot of ways to find out if you hit target. Most of them going quiet is a really good sign. So you'll also hear the hole pop, Ryan.
Well, given where it's at in the world, I expect, in a very short period of time, the only thing you're going to hear over in Iran is the sounds of the sand fleas farting. So,
right. Did you like the hole popping thing? Little reference. I know.
I did. Give me a ping, Vasily. One ping only, please.
One ping only, please. Oh, I read this. Your conclusions were all wrong, Ryan.
I miss him.
Oh, I know these books.
Did you see that? Do you see that video that suggested that that movie with him and Nicolas Cage? Technically, The Rock.
Yes,
The Rock.
I saw this shit. Yes, yes. Tell everybody
that technically was the last James Bond movie, and that that whole thing. Well, they gave him a different name. The timeline coincides perfectly with the storyline of actual James Bond, with the same kind of ins and outs, that he was arrested for stealing microfilm from the U.S. Well, that's what the guy was in prison for in The Rock. So I thought that was really interesting.
Except, the first thing I did is I went and fact checked that, and I looked, and I remember, I'm like, wait a second, Connery did a comeback movie that wasn't sponsored by the Broccoli clan, but it was Never Say Never Again, which had Kim Basinger. Oh my God, in that movie. Yeah. And that blows the whole fucking thing apart. But it's cute. It's cute.
Yeah. From the perspective of, well, if the U.S. finally did get a hold of him and they had him locked away the whole time, then there's no way he could have gotten out, done this other movie, only to be returned back to U.S. custody and rearrested.
Oh, I know. Even the kid and the timelines of like him sticking his Walther PPK and everything that moved, just tied up with his daughter and Claire Filani. Another one. Oh, dude, that chick is smoking. Smoke show. Oh God. And then the girl who was on, she was on All My Children, his wife, your best. Losers always talk about their best. Winners go home and fuck the prom queen.
Talking about his daughter?
Carla was the prom queen. Right. Carla was the girl that he was making out with in the loft when he got the call that he had to go down to Alcatraz. She's beautiful, like
Yeah.
Persian looking girl. There was nothing but sexy girls in that thing. And then you got the guy, horrible acting, Rocket Man. It's you.
That's you.
You're the Rocket Man. Oh, God.
Tony Todd was in that, who's now since passed away.
There's a lot of Ed Harris was in that. There was a lot of names. Oh, dude, and the way
Michael
that the SEALs, Michael Beaton, the way that the SEALs came in from a freaking storm drain in the showers from an elevated position. Give me a fucking break. There's no way that a bunch of jarhead gyrenes are going to be able to get a drop on a bunch of.
It was at this moment that Nathan knew he fucked up.
Ridiculous. We're totally fucked,
I will not give that order.
I
What
can't
the hell's
give
wrong
that
with
order.
you, man?
Marines, you took an oath to protect this country from all enemies, foreign
Say
and
what you
domestic.
want. You're down there. We're up here. I love that guy. Dude, Ed Harris is amazing.
Oh my gosh, what a movie. What a shit pile of movie that is. Oh man, The Rock. All right. Let's rock and roll. We got a lot to do. Hey guys, this is what we do here. We like to talk, we like to have fun, we like to joke around. It's fun. It's good to see everybody here. Want to say thank you to Bobby for starting off the donations. If you guys want to get some hats, shirts, whatever. But we got a lot to do tonight. So we're going to go into Brandon John.
Folks.
Yes, strap in and strap on. I think.
Salivating now.
Brandon Johnson. No, my table didn't raise 3 inches on its own. Brandon Johnson responds to the Chicago Bears. The Bears leaving, leaving Soldier Field, leaving Chicago, and going to Indiana with a 24-0 vote to move the Chicago Bears out of Chicago. Listen to this. I know. I was a little shocked too. By the way, the Donkeys are getting a new stadium. It's going to be $2.2 billion. Oh my God. It's going to be incredible. But here we go.
Okay. All right.
No.
Keep a straight face here. The Bears belong in the city of Chicago. The Chicago Bears belong in the city of Chicago.
Too bad.
And I've said repeatedly that the door is always open for conversations, Kevin Warren did call me yesterday. We didn't get a chance to connect, and I still firmly believe that their best position is in Chicago, and it's evidence. The evidence is clearly speaking for itself. Is my faith straight? Okay.
Is your faith straight?
Right. There is nothing you could possibly do ever to look straight, Brandon. I'm just letting you know. You look like you make Don Lemon look butch. So
he
here's
look that bad. Come on.
No, he's a douche plow. He's a douche plow. Can't stand the guy. You're right. I'm supposed to be nice. I'm not. So the Chicago Bears voted today, 24-0, a full unanimous vote to move them. Now, this is a proposed move for 2032. They'd be moving into Arlington. Scratch that. It's not Arlington. They're going to be moving north. We've got all the details right here.
Is my faith straight?
No, okay. We've already told you. The move is to Indiana. Indiana approves the bill allowing the stadium near Wolf Lake in Hammond. It was unanimous. Like I said, reasons for the move: stadium planning, key step forward for the Bears. That's not it. Public funding, lower taxpayer burden versus Illinois. No, that's not it. They're the third largest, the fourth largest city in the United States. No, that ain't it. Houston's now number 3. Location, 19 miles from Chicago. That's certainly not it. This is all about the Super Bowl. And they can't host a Super Bowl without a dome, especially in February and January when the Super Bowl is. So that's the number one. And second, Chicago's an absolute shithole. It's a shithole. So they're going to enter Indiana. They will still keep the name Chicago Bears, of course. They're not going to give that up. Get a full modern stadium, $2.1 billion. They're exploring Indiana. It's not for sure yet. No final decision has been made. But the problem with Soldier Field is archaic. It's older than Leeroy. That's old. And they don't own it, and they have to lease it, and the lease is more expensive than just building a new stadium. So they're kind of like, either you guys give us like the city needs to give them a tax break that's unbelievable, or they're gone. And that's where we're at. Go ahead, buddy.
Oh, I don't know a whole lot about it. I wasn't tracking any of this before, but it does have a certain, Rachel Phelps feel about it. Like the only reason that they're going to move it is for, new stadium or, certain amenities. I'm with him. I say that the Bears belong in Chicago. I like that. But I was also against renaming all of the teams from something that was like, like the Cleveland Indians to the Guardians. I liked baseball the way it was. Just saying.
Right. And well, and hockey too. That like, I'm so glad they didn't touch the Blackhawks, but like, I don't call the Washington Nationals. I call them the Redskins. I still call them the Redskins. People like the Nationals. I'm like, go f- yourself.
Yeah.
I'm not calling them that.
Wank!
First wanker of the night. I'm not calling it that. And I'm not calling the Cleveland Indians what are they now? The Guardians.
The Guardians.
So
they're still shitty.
So,
that?
Democrat piss me off.
Oh, this team is still shitty. It's too high. Too high.
What's that mean?
Gives a shit. It's gone. Oh my God! Just a bit outside. The Indians are
Bob
suffering.
Uecker was a gift.
The Indians are suffering from propeller lag.
Bob Uecker was a gift.
Now we're gonna cross stream. We're gonna cross streams here. Look at that, man! He won a free fucking steak. Movie. You told him. I held it like an egg. Yeah, and he scrambled the son of a bitch. The only movie that's better than Major League. Bull Durham, dude.
Oh, I haven't seen that in years.
All right, honey. How was Abby Calvin Lelouch? Well, he kind of fucks like he pitches all over the place.
I love it. I remember Susan Sarandon basically interviewing Tim Robbins and Kevin Costner, and she's like, "Well, I'm doing interviews. I'm trying to figure out which one I'm going to be, shacking up with for the season." And
after 19 years in the minors, I don't try out.
Kevin Costner's like, "No, we're not doing this. Goodbye."
The greatest thing, I had a Bull Durham speech poster, and it had him on his 57 Mustang, emerald green, and Susan Sarandon's in that skirt and that little gray sweater. She showed off. She was sexy in that movie, and he's wearing his flight jacket with his chinos. Yeah, he's got his bat, and it's sunset behind the park. One of the greatest posters ever made. And I had that, and it had the speech on there, the full speech. Hold on a second.
Oh, the one about like I believe kisses should be long, and that whole thing. I believe it in the cock and the pussy, and Well,
Harvey Oswald acted alone. I think AstroTurf should be out. I had it memorized. But anyway, it's Bull Durham, hands down, one of the greatest movies ever made. All right. So anyway, that's what's going on with the Bears. The Bears. And listen, they have a franchise quarterback. They've got some pretty good receivers. They've got a good little team. They went and extended this so that, pick up some draft picks. They got a new stadium, get some excitement. The Bears in the playoffs. I miss the old teams in the playoffs. I really do. I do too. I miss the Cleveland Browns making it. I miss the Miami Dolphins being there. We need a changing of the guard. I'm so fucking sick of Patriots and Kansas City and Baltimore and the same Los Angeles, same teams every year. Let's get some variety. Let's get some of those, the old Cincinnati Bengals and the Icky Woods days, and let's do it right. The Buffalo Bills, screw them. They'll never win one. All right. Liberals, they're so fun. We're going to cover that, Melanie.
They're, if anything, but predictable.
Yeah. We're going to cover that, man. We got a bunch of stuff to cover. Folks, we've only had one donation tonight. Bobby was in with $103.48. Gave us a huge donation. We need some help. Would love to get to it early. I want you to listen to this guy who says, listen, I don't condone violence. And then everything he says after that is condoning violence. This is a typical leftist ideology. We got to break this apart because this is a bit much. Now, this is the problem with people on the left. They consider themselves educated. And can I tell you, there's two different types of education, and then there's two necessities that are absolutely required for a well-rounded individual who is deductive and logical. And that comes down to EQ and IQ. IQ is your intelligence quotient, your ability for problem solving, deductive reasoning, logical equations. And then your EQ is your emotional intelligence. And that means that you're able to process information from a logical level and not an emotional one. You're able to make arguments that aren't fallacy-based or emotional-based or appeals to authority or red herrings or anything else. Most importantly, you have the ability to be self-aware and know when you're wrong. Without this, I don't care how much IQ you have or how much book smarts you have. If you can't figure out the basic things, the basic necessities, how to go ahead and put gas in a lawnmower, how to go ahead and change a tire, this is what the military teaches you. Leeroy will talk on this after the video, is that they break you down and build you back up. They want you to fail. They put you in situations to fail so you can learn how to think on your feet and deal with not getting into your feelings and emotions, but using your training to be successful. This is why you polish shoes and fold t-shirts and bounce quarters off of racks, because if you don't, I'm not giving you a gun. I'm not giving you a weapon system. I'm not giving you a battle cruiser. Here's the video, and I want you to listen to this guy who appears to be very intelligent by his verbiage, but is coming from a emotional place. Here it is. Maybe.
So just a quick word about the punch heard around the country a couple days ago. I posted that I would donate to this young man's relief, whatever it is that he might need for the consequences he might face for the punch that he threw. And I think it's important to understand why some...
First thing, the important thing is you didn't say how much you were going to donate. So that could be $1, that could be $500, but that's not much of a commitment when you're like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and throw to this legal defense fund. So this guy goes and punches him. Guy falls down, hits his head, gets a cerebral hemorrhage, dies of a freaking aneurysm. And you're like, oh, well, you know, here's $5, pal. Enjoy the rest of your life, kid. What happened was you saw the chubby kid right here. There was a guy protesting for ICE. And this kid said, well, I'm gonna hit you now. And then
I saw this.
And then the kid who desperately needs a salad did this.
I posted that I would donate to this young man's relief, whatever it is that he might need for the consequences he might face for the punch that he threw. And I think it's important to understand why some of us are rallying around him right now. Because it's not about punching people we disagree with, nor is it about condoning violence. What it is about is this young man's personification of our resistance at a tipping point. In the face of being told by his antagonist that he might get into trouble, he calmly stated that those terms were acceptable. And he took decisive action. Now, you know me, I say be kind, take the high road, and keep your behind clean. Don't sink to their level. Don't trade your humanity for a moment of visceral satisfaction. But sometimes the greatest kindness that we can show to those who would destroy us is that they cannot always rely on us to follow the same rules they're so willing to break. Now, our young man here is not an agent of the state. He's not using lethal force. He's throwing hands at a dipshit who had it coming. And I would probably admonish him for striking first, although he did give him fair warning. So even though he punched a sucker, we can appreciate that it wasn't a sucker punch. And I don't say any of this lightly, but our resistance is more than just playing defense, and it's more than just feeling self-satisfied that we're on the right side of history. It requires action, and it can use the element of unpredictability. So we organize, we mobilize, we rally, we protest, we vote, we connect with our representatives, we run for office. And if we're antagonized by a fascist on the street, they need to know. Sometimes we'll say,
the old fascist
okay. So just a quick word about the punch heard around the country a couple days ago. I posted that I would donate to this young man's relief.
Leeroy, I want to get your thoughts
Sure.
on just the intellectual isms of this gentleman.
Well, right out of the gate, one of the first things that he kind of resorted to was talking about this tipping point that's happening across the United States and seemingly throughout society. And I understand that everyone feels like, politics has become a heated subject. But what is the tipping point? If we're talking about what rights you've lost, maybe you could describe them, because maybe that should be part of the equation. If you haven't lost any rights, then what exactly, what tipping point are you referring to? Is it just that you feel justified because illegals are being arrested and removed from the streets? If that's the case, maybe you need to come up with something better. And again, it's this old fascist. Oh, the kid was a fascist, so that's what justifies our violent actions in his eyes. That is such a lame argument. Matt and I and Damani and scores of others, even people more intellectual than I am, have already kind of busted that myth. We've already gone through the rabbit hole to say, well, fascism is kind of more of a left-leaning perspective. It shares far more values on the left than it does with the right. So that's not really a valid argument. So again, I would just refer back to, what tipping point are you talking about? And do you know what a fascist is? Based off of that, I would say this guy's argument is kind of lame.
It's interesting, to say the least. Here, trying to get this image. Oh, you bloody jerk. So the first book that's on there is, and it's funny, because when I first saw this book,
yeah,
I couldn't picture what they were. So if we go back, I've seen this book before in my life. I read it in political science. And I think I want to say it's something to do with 1619.
So just a quick word about the punch heard around the country a couple days ago. I posted that I would donate to this young man's relief, whatever it is that he might need for the consequences he might face for the punch that he threw.
Oh, man, I'm dying. Oh. So the first one, and just bear with me here, I'm going to...
Zinn. That's Howard Zinn. That's a liberals.
I know.
Liberals, something to American history. Liberals perspective, something like that.
Yep. And I remember, because I read it, and that is it's absolutely Zinn. And it talks about 1619. It's Saul Alinsky, radical leftist ideology. I've read it. And then the other one is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Blankety Blank. And I've read both. Folks, I'm dying. I'm sorry. I've read both. So immediately, this guy's a radical, right? Mm-hmm. He's Marxist, Leninist. The book by Zinn is truly a breakdown of essentially creating lines of delineation between the civil liberty and predetermined groupthink, and how the populace overall wins. It's a populism. It's a book based on populism. Yeah. And when you're dealing with a guy like this, he's sitting here and telling you, "Oh, you know what? I don't believe in violence, and not a big fan." But then tells you absolutely why violence is okay. And this is the difference between Democrats and Republicans wholeheartedly. And their actions speak on this. People's History of the United States by Howard Zinn.
Yeah.
The book is, I mean, how would you sum it up overall?
I've read it.
Yeah, I know. So have I. How would you sum it up?
Go
ahead.
Yeah, what Howard Zinn does in that book is he takes several logical errors, and it's bad, but it's not terrible. What he does is he'll take like letters of people who had something that was terrible happen to them, right? And then he turns it into a political issue. And so there's a logical fallacy behind that. What's it called? Anecdotal evidence, right?
Yep.
Where he tries to make a political stance based off of the perspective of very few people. Fine. But he takes this very left-leaning view out of each and every one of these cases. To offset that, and it's funny you mentioned that, I actually tried to get a guy on the show named Larry Schweikart. Larry, who was a professor here at Ohio, in Ohio at Dayton U, wrote a book to offset Howard Zinn's book, and it was called A Patriot's History of the United States, where he kind of dispels a lot of the myths that were in the Zinn book. I've read them both. Zinn's is far more just fast and loose with the facts, far more how you feel versus credible things that happen throughout history. There's no.
It completely ignores consensus.
I mean, does. It does.
It does. Yeah. So anyway, it's a very highly selective book, and the process of the entire book is rooted off the base of white fragility, 1619 Project, that Americanism is actually colonialism, that America is oppresses its people, that it's not a reimagining of the U.S. It's literally an emotional take on something with very little fact. And when you try to say that it's a classist system here, he tries to sell you the progressive mindset, and he's a leftist. He is 100% a leftist in every way. So what he tries to do is he tries to break down the success and the world influence of capitalism through our democratic republic. And so his goal is, like all leftists, is to destroy capitalism in order to replace it with a pico-commie socialist utopian regime, which always turns into communism. So I did not enjoy the book. I read it in college. It was a complete affront to everything. And you're absolutely right. It was based upon interpretation, not consensus. I mean, that's the best way I can describe the book. So when you see those two books on that guy's table, you immediately know. And that's what we look at. I'm not looking at him. I'm looking at his books. What's he reading? So I know who he is. And he put those books there on purpose so he can communicate to people. Go ahead. Yeah, right. Mine's over here. Mine's behind me. Go ahead.
I have the Zoran Mamdani edition of this. I thought about sending it to him in the mail so he can fix what's going on in New York by not raising everyone's taxes, the property taxes, and raiding the rating day fund. I read that and I was just like, oh my God, not a month into it and you're already messing with the economic system. and you are literally doing everything that you said you would not do.
We're going to talk about that too. We've got that coming up. Anyway, I just wanted you to see that because that's the answer for the left is violence.
Yeah.
And they call us the violent party. They say that we do all the school shootings, and that it comes down to this, is that I hate to say this, but no, I don't, because it's truth. Democrats, liberals, leftists, all of them, put them all into one big lump. They believe that white people are conservatives. Unless they have become self-aware of their white fragility and their toxic masculinity and their unconscious bias. White people are okay as long as they are subservient to their white guilt. This is what they believe. And this is every one of them. And I will no longer make distinctions. That is their party. That is their mentality. That white people are evil and that we owe penitence towards all minorities, all sexual dispositions, all religions. We owe an apology tour to the world. And that's anyone who doesn't believe that is a conservative. You're MAGA. Even if you're not, there's no such thing as a moderate Republican in their eyes. You are far right. You are the days of Ronald Reagan. You are the neocon. You are the expansionism. You are the work off the backs nationalists. Right. This is who you are. And you're white nationalists. You're not just nationalists. You're white Christian nationalists. And this is the truth.
Right. They actually do envision quite a few white Americans as they immediately associate us with World War II Germany. And it's not because they know why or how. They were told to. There is an actual flow chart. I'm convinced of it. You sound amazing.
Ugh,
God, you need to get it whiskey, dude. And basically it's a winning strategy, right? You call your opponent a name, and that immediately puts them on the defensive. That immediately puts somebody else on their heels and say, oh, you are this thing. You're this thing. And now you have to prove that you're not. And you're like, wait, I never said that. But how could I be an anti-Semite? Now I'm forced to defend myself, all because this label was thrown at somebody. It's right out of the leftist playbook. Frank Wood donated $120. Sorry for being a dick the other night on the show.
When were you a dick?
Yeah, I don't remember that.
Well, why don't you be a dick more often so we get more, C notes from you? I mean, seriously. I mean, sure, stop being a dick, Frank. You know what? I don't think it's enough. We don't accept your apology. We're gonna have to see how it goes. I mean, right? I mean, that's where my head's at.
Frank, you're an amazing dude. Thank you so much for the donation.
Thanks, buddy. And you're not a dick. You're a good dude.
1000%.
I closed the window.
Did you see that video from this morning? Chicks on the Right put it out. It was about Jews, and it was this lawyer, I want to say, where he talked about it was just it fed right into what we were just talking about. It talked about how the Jews, like if the government is strong, it's because the Jews run it, or if the government is weak, it's because the Jews are undermining it. If the Jews are rich, it's because they're exploiting people. Did you see that video?
Yeah, I've got it on here. Did you look at your itinerary that we're going to talk about today?
I did, but it was only a snapshot and I couldn't zoom in on it.
I know that's hard. I mean, that's hard. It's my fault. It was
hard. All right.
I forgot to do that. I'm so sick. I forgot to do the description thing. It's really been good for us on our podcast, is doing the AI to capture everything we say and then writing a description. But let's get into the Prince Andrew thing. We got to do that.
Yes.
And I feel bad.
So, Kenny, let's talk about this. What is your take on this entire Prince Andrew situation?
I had all of these articles set up. There's a really cool feature. If you guys are on Safari or on caller, should I answer?
Yeah, sure.
Hi, who are we talking to?
The dick from the other night.
Oh my God, Frank! Why are you calling me? What did you do? What do I need to know?
Yeah,
because I wanted to apologize for telling you to chill out the other night. You took offense to it.
No, I didn't.
And
I don't even remember it. Why does everyone think that I take offense to things?
Dude, you kind of,
Leeroy.
I don't know.
What did I say?
Kind of went down on me a little bit there.
If I went down on you, you would be calling to thank me.
Oh,
party!
Hang on.
Listen to me. You are the second
That was like,
person.
Get your hands off my ears. I know what I'm doing.
Listen, okay, folks. We need to have the conversation. Let's have the conversation, okay? I'm a human fucking being. I have emotions, and some days are better than others. Okay, I deal with trolls. I'm talking to everybody, Frankie, not you. I deal with trolls all day long. That's what I do. They interact on my page. I got them sending in emails. I got them sending in messengers. They're all over the place. And that's what I do. I interact with those people. So there are going to be times that I'm not sensitive. Maybe I'm tired. Maybe you guys have seen me up at 0400 and then I'm still sending out emails at 12:30 in the morning. I know people, the one thing that I hear from people after hours is, Matt, do you ever sleep? And the answer is no, I don't. So occasionally I'm not going to be at my best. So if you say something to somebody like, hey, calm down, or hey, be quiet, or hey, chill out. When in the history of those three examples of those idioms have they ever been successful in the history of the world history? Never. When you say, hey, man, chill out, nobody's going to be like, oh, you know what? That's a really good point. I'm going to chill. So to me, I was just being a guy and saying, I don't even remember what the context was, Frankie. I don't even know, but I wasn't mad. I wasn't even remotely ticked. Tell me how I reacted so I can remember. How did I react? Tell me exactly. Use the tone.
I can't tell you how you reacted. You were just kind of, I don't know how to explain this. I don't even remember it, to be honest with you.
All right. Well,
I just felt like I needed to apologize to you because I love you.
Oh, Frankie.
And I would never fucking troll you.
Okay.
That is not
your family. Okay. And every one of you knuckle chuckers are family. You don't have to apologize. I'm an emotional dude. My temper gets going. I get hot and I speak my mind. And you guys know this. There's no loyalties on this show when it comes to showtime. And things are sometimes they're going to carry over. And I try to explain this to my friends. If you're going to get talking about with politics with me or hockey, be prepared to get offended because I don't have a filter. So I want to apologize if you felt that I came at you. I just don't know how. I don't have that skill set, Frank. I don't have that emotion thing where, like, Leeroy can say to me, he's Matt, you fucking talk too much. And I'm like, well, so do you. But people don't know you outside of the show. And then I take that personal, right? Because I love him. He's my brother. And it's hard to run a show and it's hard to keep it moving. And he doesn't have the control board and he doesn't have all that stuff. But I feel bad, right? But if somebody who I don't even give a shit about says something, I usually don't react. So you must have said something like chill out. And I'm like, no, I'm not going to fucking chill out. That's probably the way I reacted. And you have no reason to apologize because you can't hurt me, dude, because you're family. You know what I mean?
I'm sure it was something like that. You know, it was just and I'm like you, Matt. I say shit sometimes that is completely out of touch with what I should be like. And fuck, dude, and I just felt like I needed to apologize to you because I didn't want you to take anything the wrong way.
No, sir. I didn't.
Okay?
You know, Frank, here's the thing. I didn't even think about it again.
I know that. I'm sure you never gave it a second thought.
But I do now because now I feel like shit because that's the last thing I ever want you to carry, right? Like,
no,
Frank,
man, I don't want you to feel like shit.
Well,
please.
If I was mad at you,
Frank, it was just something in passing. That's all it was. I felt like I needed to let you know that I did not mean to cross you. And
you did it. Oh my God, Frankie, stop it. See, now this is borderline where I got to jump in and I got to reset you because you don't owe me any loyalty or fealty. I'm not a god. I'm a human being. I'm a man. We have a friendship and I appreciate you. My wife loves you. I've known you for a long time and you're a friend. You didn't cross me. You didn't hurt me. You saw something and wanted me to do something and you said it. And then of course I reacted. So no, man, absolutely not. I accept your apology. It's not necessary and do it again and keep doing it. And if I'm mad at you, you'll know. Trust me, you'll know. Or if I think if I've said something, I'll call you. James and I had a conversation the other night, James Cody and I, because James made a comment and I called him. I'm like, let's talk because I don't like the way this feels. And we went round and round and we had our conversation. That was it. So listen, brother, no hard feelings. I apologize. And I will be a little more conscientious of what I say when you're talking. And Olivia's been giving me that feedback. She's like, you got to stop reading something again. And it's a reply and you're not seeing what the real context is and you're reacting again. So she has to keep pulling me back, but it's hard, man. There's a lot of moving bells and whistles to this show. Leeroy will tell you. Yeah. I'm watching 50 different things trying to keep this show going. And sometimes that ADD doesn't allow me to have compassion while I'm trying to be mechanical and methodical. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you're so lucky to have a woman like Olivia to stand by you and to give you the feedback. And dude, you are so lucky.
I'm aware.
I've been married 4 times and they've all been fucking failures. So, I've given up on that shit.
Well,
but,
I appreciate
it is
you,
what.
I appreciate you. No need for apologies. In fact, don't do it
Frank,
again.
we love you, buddy.
Don't say you're sorry again. I'll call you. I'll be like, you need to say something. You need to be apologetic. But if it's gonna have you put up $120 every night, you know what? Not accepted. Just kidding.
I can't afford you.
No,
dude.
and I love that you did that. It means the world to me, and it wasn't necessary. But listen, no hard feelings, and I'll try to keep watching my P's and Q's. I covet you guys. I
couldn't let Bobby beat me out.
Yeah, well, she has a tendency to do that, brother. Listen, Frank, I appreciate you keeping me honest.
She is the best.
This means the world to me. Instead of, there's people out there who will get into a chat group or start talking shit behind my back, and they won't say it to my face. This means the world to me. I'd rather have a person who picks up the phone and calls. That means the world to me.
I will never talk shit behind your back. I promise you that.
Good. That's
you're the man as far as I'm concerned.
Aw. Well, I can be the woman
and
for the right
too,
price.
Leeroy. You're fucking awesome.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
All right, buddy. I got a show to do.
All
I got to
right,
let you go.
You guys take care.
Thanks, Frankie. Appreciate you. Listen, it's that easy, call and, it's really hard sometimes. Just take a quick segue, 2 minutes. And you look at like Bongino, and I listen to how he talks to his audience. He doesn't interact with his audience. These guys, Crowder doesn't interact with his audience. And even Tonto last night said, he was kind of surprised I interact because he stays out of the comments. Dude, it's a lonely world out there sometimes. And you start reading the scroll and it's all doom and gloom and black pill shit. And you can get in a bad spot. And then you do a show right after and you let it bleed into your show. I'm a guy. I don't have a producer in my ear. Dan does. Dan, knock it off. Stop fucking saying that. You're pissing people off. Knock it off now. Change the subject. People try. Mel tries. Oh my God, Matt, shut the fuck up. But I don't see her text, right? And Olivia is like over here waving, and I'm like, no, I got this. Fuck this. I got it. It's my show. I'll do it. You know what? It's authentic and it's real. That's what you get. And this is who I am. And love me or hate me, agree, disagree, don't unfriend me. You know what I mean? That's it. Jaze, I don't know what you're trying to be, but you are really annoying me lately. So I don't appreciate anyone calling another person a faggot on my show. So you might want to just stop. You know what I mean? I know you're trying to get my goat, and you said the other day, well, why don't I come after you? We're there. So do me a favor and take a second, go grab a beer, and reset, or go play hide and go fuck yourself. Okay? All right, Bubba. Appreciate you. Here is Prince Andrew. Mountbatten of Windsor, arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public office. Well, that certainly sounds worse than it should be. Or does it? Here's the cool thing about Apple is that you can come over here and you can do this. Whew, look at that. I can delete all these nasty ads.
Ads? Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah.
The former British prince who was stripped of his royal titles because of his links to convicted sex offender Jeffrey Epstein was arrested on suspicion of misconduct in public offices. Andrew has consistently denied any wrongdoing in connection with his friendship with Epstein. The Thames Valley police said that a man in his 60s from Norfolk in eastern England was arrested. This is what the English do. They do not do perp walks. They cover your head. They try to maintain your anonymity as long as they can, which is an interesting thing. This is the brother to King Charles III. He has been removed completely from the patents of nobility that come along with his position. those decisions were done last year, and they have pretty much just said we're going to let the law play out. We're not interfering. We're not getting involved, and this guy is ultimately going to have to pay the piper. And we'll see what happens. Here's the video, then we'll bring comments.
So, Kenny, let's talk about this. What is your take on this entire Prince Andrew situation?
Joseph says he's sorry. Okay, Joseph, why are you apologizing? Everybody stop apologizing. Everybody just have a good night. We had a great show with Tonto. Leeroy and I are cooking. Just stop apologizing. Everyone just have a good night. Everything's fine. Nobody's mad at... Shut up, Leeroy. Nobody's talking to you, man.
Uh-oh, retard alert. Retard alert, class.
All right, now come on. Let's everybody stop it. Just
Silence! I kill you.
All right, here we go. Here's the video. No more apologies, damn it. No more rhymes now. I mean it.
And in my opinion, this just goes to show no one is above the law, even royals.
Yeah, no one is above the law, even rules. And, I wish some things would happen here in our own country to elitists like Bill Clinton and elitists like Hillary Clinton that had connections to Jeffrey Epstein. President Trump was basically exonerated in anything and has been proven to be somebody who actually took Jeffrey Epstein down. And I think these elites that have anything to do with Epstein, such as Stephen Hawking and others, Bill Gates or whoever else, needs to be held accountable. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious. I think it's been a hoax in the direction that, President Trump called it one because it was protecting the elitists like Prince Andrew and not concentrating on the people that need to be concentrated on. And I'm glad to see some accountability by Prince Andrew. I mean, I guess I quit calling him Prince because that title was removed after these allegations came out and these files came out on him. But I'm glad to be seeing him being held accountable. And I think that even though he's been released, the investigation is still ongoing. Hopefully this is the first string of many actual accountability arrests that we see, and nobody is above the law, as Benny just said. And I think we need to see the same accountability for the elites that have been, corrupting our
You're on mute, Matt.
country, have been abusing children, have been abusing the system for so long. And that's mostly Democrats. That's mostly the elitists that have been, propping up the uniparty in our country. And I think that this is the first of many that we need to see.
I got to give the guy credit. At least he has the Footprints poem behind him, which I think is just a great poem. It's one of the best. And as far as a poem about theology and Jesus carrying you during your most troubling times in the single set of footprints. Kimberly Ed, $15. Thank you, Kimmy. Leeroy, what do you think? What precedent does this set? Because this to me is, do you want to bet that Trump found out about this and said, don't even do this right now. Do not just wait till after the primaries. Don't do this. Because now you're putting the pressure on my DOJ to go out and make arrests, and we're not ready. Please don't. Do you think that he asked for this?
I honestly don't know. I will tell you that I had seen a lot of social media posts, including one of my friends, who basically made the case. John Stillwell donated $20, says, I'm not saying sorry. It's been a while. And F you, Leeroy. Thank you, John.
That's good.
That's one of my friends had made the post earlier that said, well, looks like Great Britain has the balls to do it. We don't. And I was like, thinking about that, is it political or is this, what do they do in Great Britain that's any different here? And when I say that, understand that I'm looking back on how many people have been arrested for social media posts. But here we have somebody of royalty who's been arrested. I think that what we know or what we don't know with regard to what's the evidence look like in each and every one of these cases against any individual has to be overwhelming. And we don't know what that is. So if the prince here actually had DNA on some, 13-year-old, all right, and somebody found out about it, yeah, arrest him, right? But we have due process. So I'm kind of on the fence about it, and I don't mean to be. I know that sounds like a shitty excuse, but
you sound like a pedo. You know what I mean?
No, I'm not a pedo.
You sound like a pedo. That's what the liberals would say. You're a pedo
I
apologist.
know. I was called that actually on the same page. One of
Isn't
this
that
lady's
amazing?
friends, jumped right in. He was like, "You're just defending pedophiles," and I'm like, "No, I'm saying that."
I know. I was being facetious.
I know.
I'm kidding.
I know, but it adds to the point, though, is that because we have due process, because we are not privy necessarily to the police or the FBI files to say this is the mound of evidence that we have against specific individuals.
Right.
We either do or do not have enough movement there to charge somebody. And
Listen, okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. Apologize.
No. Go ahead.
Why? Listen, you're a prince. You are a part of the royal family. You are second. Hi, baby girl. Not on the show. Yeah. You gonna put some clothes on? If you want to show it, you gotta send it to my phone real quick, and yes, I'll show it. All right, so send it to my phone. Mac is fine. No, don't do that. Send it to my. Just message me. So, you're a prince. You're second in the hierarchy to the throne,
right?
Or first in succession. I don't know, and I don't care. So the people who are looking it up are going to correct me. Shove it. I do not care right now. I just do not give a shit. But why would you give information of a sensitive nature to Jeffrey Epstein? And this is where you might want to start connecting the dots about a honeypot situation, because you guys connect the Jews with absolutely no evidence. How can you not be like, dude, this guy had compromising information on the prince? Because why would he give information to Epstein, who, by all accounts, Prince Andrew diddled kids? That's the accusation out there. And
Right.
like he's a solid one. Like he's one of them that everyone's sure of, right? Because there's photograph, there's evidence, there's just some bad shit out there. So could this possibly be an attempt to connect some other information with the prince to Epstein when it comes to discovery, and then possibly adding other charges and more serious things onto it as we go? Because this seems like an Al Capone thing to me. Let's get Capone in court so we can open up the records and find the other things that he did, but right now we're going to get him through income tax evasion. That's what they did. And then they started doing RICO statutes and embezzlement and trafficking and other things they added to it, but they got him on the income tax first. Do you think that's, listen, I know you don't know, but I'm just asking, do you think this is a bigger piece to the puzzle than what we're seeing? Or is this just, you got to get him on something because you removed his royalty factor and you got to explain why? Right. So they're just going to get him on this and then sweep this under the rug.
Right. And that's kind of why I prefaced that entire statement by saying, look, this could be political. This could have something to do with the upcoming elections. I think that's already been alluded to in some of the comments. This could be political, just so that the royal family can put some, can hang a face, right, on the guilty, and then distance themselves as far away and say, look, you got your hangman. This is the person we're giving you. This is the sacrificial royal lamb that we're going to give you. We don't want to hear anything more about it. I don't know if that's it. Yeah, that's why I kind of said it was.
That's a really good. I mean, but it makes sense that when you say sacrificial lamb, you've already removed his status as the royal family, right. And if we all think that this guy, I mean, he could face life in prison for this. I mean, there's some serious accusations. This is a form of treason. A lot of people say it's insider trading, but if you're giving classified information in a sensitive nature, only American senators and congressmen can do that. Only they can do that. You guys can't do that abroad. So we'll find out more. I think this puts the pressure on the DOJ and Trump now to make arrests. And that's the problem with this, is the optics of it is like, oh, well, not only do we castigate Britain off of our soil in 1776, but now they're actually taking Epstein more serious than the Donald Trump administration. Once again, dignifying that, Donald Trump is hiding something. And so this changes the parameters of that with the optics. And I think it's personal. Like, I think this decision was made for a reason. It wasn't made. Listen, it's February. Okay. We're right around the corner from the midterms. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you got to consider that might be a possibility. Mel might have something to say because she's British.
Yeah, I'm part of the British cabal, so yeah, I know a couple of things. This timing is, I think, the Brits have an election for prime minister and whatnot in May, and Stammer has already been after Lord Mendelsohn, who is his whatever buddy, resigned because he was linked to the Epstein files. Stammer is as well, so the Labour Party's going down the toilet, and I think this is maybe to take some of the gas off of there, but I don't. Anyways, it's all interwound, so it's not just Andrew.
Yeah, Mike Roser says, "What I think it's Roser or Roser, whatever. Why do we care? We know. Well, that's the thing, Mike, and call me triggered." But when people say, why do we care? You just said why we care. Because you care. Or you wouldn't have said something. See what I'm saying? You have a position. Your position is, I don't give a shit about this. My position is, maybe we should look at this and try to identify what are the implications from a geopolitical standpoint from the elections coming up in England, but also the elections and the midterms coming up with us. I mean, that's what I'm thinking. This also will affect Canada too.
So, or more importantly, Mike, more importantly, if you're asking why do we care? Oh, I don't know. How about the kids that were involved?
Yeah, I think that's an appeal to emotion right there. I mean, I can separate the kids and the actual criminality itself, because you have to assume the worst, and we don't. If you're going to presume something, presume innocence, because that's what we do in this country. You know what I mean? And I know Leeroy always does that. He just said that earlier tonight. It's a presumption of innocence. Everyone's innocent. So I'm not going to call everyone who is in the Epstein files a kid fucker. And I'm not going to say that about Prince Andrew. What I'm saying is, out of all the potential kid fuckers out there, Prince Andrew is holding that bag better than anyone. And I think this changes some things, because this is the lines of delineation that the left is going to run. I promise you, this will be out the next day or two. The royal family from England, who are essentially a puff pastry in a deli window that is not stuffed with cream, but it's stuffed with mayonnaise, and it's a hard 3 or 4 old day baguette or pastry, because it's going to be fake, because it looks good, right? We're gonna put up a wax steak like Japanese do with their food. You're going to put something that's not real in the window, and it's not edible, but it's going to last for months, and you can keep it there to sell your food as a marketing piece. This feels to me like a marketing piece. And I think what the left will do is say the royal family, who is just a mock form of theocratic rule, a monarchy, who has they're just a placeholder. They took one of their family members and castigated it out. Wouldn't it be nice if Donald Trump did that with people who aren't his family, who are obviously in the Epstein files? So they're going to make that correlation. That's why this is important. Mel, how does this affect Canada?
Well, because Carney's involved with his stuff when he was the Bank of England, and screwed up their whatever with their business dealings and whatnot, and it pissed off the conservative side of the party. Like, he threw a lot of people under the bus with his Bank of England governorship. Yeah. So I'm thinking, with all this financial whatever that they're getting Andrew on, I'm sure Carney's name is in that mess as well. And if Mendelsohn just resigned from the Labour Party because
I heard that
he's involved, and Stammer is as well, this is Andrew's going to be the first victim under the bus to take some of the heat off. But I think it's going to backfire on them.
When they find out that half of these people are from Davos and the New World Order, it's
they
going
all are.
That's who's on the list. It's all the people Trump doesn't rub shoulders with. This is going to backfire. It takes, like, this reminds me of the Me Too movement. It only took one. And the moment the first person fell, everything started falling. So either we're going to see that in the next couple weeks, or this is just going to get swept under the rug and moved on. All I know is
I don't think it's going to get. Yeah,
I don't think it can.
I don't think this isn't going under the rug. I don't think anytime soon.
Well,
because a lot of more bricks are going to start to fall real fast.
Leroy's going to say something real quick. I just want to chime real quick. The St. Croix, one of his apartment buildings, Jeffrey Epstein's in New York. Supposedly there's ties now. Benny talked about this. I haven't confirmed this, and I'm always very, very skeptical of linking what Benny says, because usually it's bullshit. But he said that the Israeli government was paying for one of Epstein's apartments. Now, I want to confirm this, right? Because, when in doubt, blame a Jew. I mean, that seems to be what we do today. Leeroy, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, I put my finger up real quick. My wife just texted me. Apparently, we are under a tornado watch. And so if I end up having to pop off real quick, that's why.
You want to get off now?
No, I'm all right now.
All right, just let me know.
But if I have to go, yeah.
Yeah, well, we're going to know, because you're going to be gone.
You got your red slippers on there, Leeroy?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. Where's Toto?
We got it.
Yeah, don't forget the dog.
I'll get you, my pretty.
So
I'll see you on Vancouver Island here shortly. No, sorry.
We love
that's
you,
all
Mel.
I wanted to just to chime in.
It's
on
a good chime. We appreciate you calling in, Mel. Thanks. Do you want to say you're sorry
Mel.
for anything?
Just I'll be watching the news on the weekend.
Do you want to apologize for anything? Everyone, it seems to be the whole theme
I
of the
apologize for telling you to. I apologize for telling you to zip it every 15 seconds.
Jeez,
but not really.
Like
so, anyways, just zip it.
Like my mom.
Zip it.
Yeah.
My God.
Anyways, love you.
Yeah, love you too.
Bye, Mel.
My
Bye.
God.
Part of the plan.
Mel Lowe, everybody. She's gonna have intro and outro music from now on when she comes in. Safe Space Two Spirit. Do you know? Can you for 1,000 for the Daily Double? Can you tell me the full acronym? So, yeah, it's an acronym. Acronym for the people who are not heterosexual. They're long.
Oh, sure. For fuck's sake. Yeah. LGBTQ plus.
No. LGBTQIS.
Oh, shit.
ISPA. 2SP AI plus.
Just take every fucking letter in the alphabet.
That's what I was thinking, dude. It's a little gay. So here's the thing. Here is Hawley, who has become one of my favorites. You gotta love Trey Gowdy for when he would go after politicians. He really didn't do anything else, but he was great going after people. Lindsey Graham goes after people effectively. So is Ted Cruz. They don't do anything. Hawley doesn't do anything, but he's kind of the new select committee tear into people type thing. Folks, I have AIDS. It's 24-hour AIDS, so I'm sorry. I don't feel good. But here
you can get it from me.
Here's it. No, because I caught. That's right. I did it. So I caught. You pitched. So listen, it's not gay. You sucked my dick. You know what I'm saying?
Something about the LGBTQs is, now that you bring it up,
oh boy.
is that they're they have to associate with a group. But if the whole goal here in the United States is to evaluate everyone as an individual, and you keep pushing the idea of, no, I'm not an individual, I'm part of this group, don't you know? Isn't that kind of antithetical to the way we want to view everyone? Isn't that antithetical to the way you want to be viewed? I mean, it's great if you want to be part of a group, but
Top 10 answers on the board, buddy.
Yeah.
It's well done. Here is Holly tearing up. Glenn, this show is always going to have gay shit on it. So if you can't appreciate Leeroy and I's individuality and our celebrating our inner rainbows, then, you need to stop. Okay. It's got to end, man. You got to embrace us.
Throw me a frickin' bone here. I'm the boss. Need the info.
Here it is. Holly just tearing this guy up. Listen to this.
Recognize that law enforcement is a part of the ecosystem the entire time.
This is so typical of what the Democrats do now. After your policies have transparently failed and led to the deaths of millions of Americans, now you say you've never heard of defunding the police. Your own report recommends it on page after page after page. Let me ask about something else you say. Here's what you say we ought to invest in. Instead of funding the police, here's what we ought to invest in. We need to invest in programs that...
If you look at this guy behind Holly, he's trying not to crack up the entire time.
Acknowledge the need for safe space initiatives led by lesbian, gay, bisexual, two-spirit, trans, and gender nonconforming people.
This is the guy who's bald, looks like Leeroy if he wanted to star in the movie Philadelphia 2, and has the red tie. Just watch him.
Spirit.
He looks like the hitman.
Well, look, I don't know exactly. You guys are pulling some interesting quotes.
This is from your report.
If you look at the report, the focus is on investing in violence intervention, outreach workers.
You say that you shouldn't invest in the police, but we ought to invest in two-spirit community programs that acknowledge two-spirit.
Look, we are not going to discriminate against that. We're not going to discriminate against any nonprofit that wants to help us prevent violence in our community.
What is two-spirit? You say don't fund the police, but do fund programs that create safe spaces for two-spirit people. What is? I just want to know. I don't know what that is. I have no idea what that is.
Well, I honestly, I'm not completely aware of the language or the
spirit
spirit
of
how that was written. But what I'm telling you is that what
is a two-spirit individual? I mean, really, this is your policymakers' playbook. You are the witness called by the Democrats on this committee, so I assume you reflect their views. Well, you don't want to fund the police. You want to fund safe spaces for two-spirit individuals. What is a two-spirit person?
I feel like I'm looking at a two-faced individual because you talk about reducing
sir.
violence.
You're looking at somebody who's reading you your own words, and I'd like to hear an answer. Here's the answer. The answer is you don't have any solutions. You want to invest in gobbledygook and
Ooh, now we're breaking it out. Angela Hills donated to get you to goal. Ventura in the house. Thank you for another great show. You're welcome.
So much, Angela.
Yes, thank you. We love hitting goal. That's awesome. I know a lot of people are waiting for Jacket Friday tomorrow to lean in. So the fact that we hit it, we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Take away money from police officers who actually keep our communities safe, and when you're called on the record, you deny it. Approach is defunding the police, which is what.
Wow, that was a cooking.
Two-spirit people. I mean, is that somebody after Taco Bell? I don't know.
No, it's Native Americans who are bipolar.
Oh,
yeah. So it's
too much wampum. Got it.
You like the bipolar? No. Okay. That's what it is. But don't ask what the plus is. You're not going to like it. Let's just say
now I have to know.
Epstein would get along. They're called MAPS, minor attracted persons.
Oh yeah.
So listen, I'm just going to say this and we're going to move on because we got too much to do. But lesbians, gays, and bisexuals, I think everyone has said, okay, love who you want, keep it in your bedroom, wear your assless chaps on Pride Day. We don't care. Just don't force it down our throat and keep it away. I will tell you that the lesbian, gay, and bisexual community does not like the tea and everything else. They feel like they worked through what African Americans did through civil rights and women did through suffrage faster than any other minority group. And let's face it, gays and lesbians were the largest minority groups. They were a smaller demographic than Jews. They were a smaller demographic than Native Americans.
Yeah.
They were tiny. And there is some bone of contention with African Americans going, how did those guys get accepted that quick? But it took us 400 years. It took them 40 minutes. But I think you're seeing a crack in the armor, so to speak, of this, 17 different color flag and 64 different genders. This woke shit is not going well for them. And the more that they tried to cling on it, the more it's going to slip through their fingers.
Right.
So anyway, when I see that video, it's we need to keep doing that. Embarrass these people. If you believe that a rainbow spotted unicorn can be your 12-year-old daughter or son who wants to pretend that they're a furry, then be prepared to answer some very tough questions if you're going to die on that hill. If you're going to stand up there and say, this is where I'm going to die on that hill, then you deserve to be ridiculed and mocked and laughed at. Like literally tomatoes, lettuce, and rotten stuff. Mel Lowe, 2625. Thank you, Mel.
Can I add something to that?
Sure. Oh, yeah, always, brother. You never have to ask.
The infighting in the LGBTQ, everyone under that flag group, right, has, to your point, it has exposed so many cracks in that armor. Rarely can you get that many groups together and have them all fall in alignment towards a common goal. Now, normally that goal would have been acceptance, accept us for who we are, right? But in the meantime, what's happened is they all have slightly different agendas, and they're all willing to fight over those agendas. And because of that, that's where a lot of these cracks in the exterior is forming, right? That's where we see why a lesbian is saying, well, I don't understand why I would want to agree with this this drag queen who's trying to shove it down a 5-year-old's throat. Like, there are obvious differences of opinion amongst the group. And so for every letter or every symbol, every new life choice that they want to add on to the flag, oddly enough, it only works at this point to weaken their stance, not strengthen it.
Yeah. No, good point. Yes, we are doing the jacket twice a month now. By popular demand.
So just a quick word about the punch heard around the country.
Here
a couple days
is Hayden's performance. People wanted to see it.
I just realized that kid looks like Peter Griffin.
Yeah, he does.
That was awesome.
Yeah. Jeez. Wow. Pretty damn good.
Where'd she get that talent?
Not from me. No. Not from me. She got it from mom. You should see her play piano. She taught herself how to play piano by ear.
My kid is trying to do the same thing with guitar right now, and he's really good at it.
It's
frightening.
like she wants me to buy her one for her birthday, a guitar. So we're going to do that. But yeah, she did great. All right, let's get into it. Couple more things tonight. The lies of the mainstream media. This is going to go into the Tallarico and the Colbert thing. So Colbert is on his final days. He's gone in the spring. And he was going to bring on Tallarico, who is I believe, Texas candidate. He's the new Beto O'Rourke, 4-time failed candidate Beto O'Rourke. And Tallarico's a little scary. He's smart. He can communicate effectively, and he's got a look. And we need to be conscientious of that. Can go a long way, Mm-hmm. So Colbert was going to have him on. And then they made claims that CBS, the administration, pulled him because the Equal Coverage Act, which was done in the Kennedy and Nixon era, of equal debate time, that the president of the United States and candidates could have equal time and use public access and use local cable over the air, but they would have to have equal opportunities to do so based upon the FCC standards. So people say, well, this isn't a big deal because it's never been enforced. Well, it's never been enforced because the stations of course they want the candidates on there.
Right.
It's ratings, it's everything else. So the fact that they're going to put Tallarico, now Jasmine Crockett is sitting here going, wait a second, I don't know what you guys think you're doing, but you can't do that to me. You got to give me some time. And I agree with her. And so this is what the media said, and this is the truth. Listen to this.
Statement today saying, quote, "The Late Show was not prohibited by CBS from broadcasting the interview with Rep. James Tallarico. CBS made the decision to bow to Trump's FCC and basically blocked Stephen Colbert from airing his interview with a Texas Democratic candidate. CBS pulled his interview on Stephen Colbert's show just before it was supposed to air. The reason that CBS pulled Colbert's interview with James Tallarico was because of a new kind of made-up rule by Donald Trump's FCC chair, Brendan Carr. Brendan Carr's new rule would be designed to intimidate talk shows and late-night comedy shows out of featuring political guests.
They could go ahead and move forward with the interview of...
Tommy, I thought that 1943 was radio. And TV became with the local channels that role. So it very well could have been expanded into over-the-air broadcasting. Let's double check. Because 1943, I don't think a lot of people had TVs. So that was probably radio and then expanded into the TV age once we got UHF and VHF over-the-air antenna, and then expanded into cable later. Let's look it up. Let's find out together.
James Tallarico. They just needed to offer me equal time. I did not get a request from the Colbert Show to go on.
CBS released a statement today saying, quote, "The Late Show..."
All right. So immediately, of course, it's Trump's administration. He's doing this. This is it. And now Jasmine Crockett's out here going, no, wait a second. It wasn't the Trump administration. Wasn't the Trump administration. It was just CBS had to extend me equal time. And if Jasmine Crockett isn't throwing the Trump administration under the bus, then you got to know that it's probably the truth. Here is Colbert and what he said.
Now, here's the thing. I don't usually say this to a guest, but if people are watching this right now, it's because they found us online on YouTube. I did an act of the show that's on tonight explaining why. It's not the first time you've caused some drama. FCC opening probe into The View after appearance by Tallarico. Do you mean to cause trouble?
I think that Donald Trump is worried that we're about to flip Texas.
You're not flipping Texas, and that's complete bullshit. Federal Communications Commission adopted the Fairness Doctrine in 1949. It required broadcast TV, which was not yet massive, radio stations that use public airways. So it started off as a radio initiative, and then it related to the Equal Time Rule, which was 1934. Then the Fairness Doctrine was eliminated in 1987 under the Reagan administration. So that's what I thought, is that the actual fairness doctrine was gone. So the FCC, the equal time rule is what they're saying versus the fairness doctrine. So the fairness doctrine says it was not on equal time rule, but it pressured the stations to give opposing political views airtime. So you could give somebody 25 minutes, and then as long as you put that other person on the air, then that was considered fair. But the equal time was removed in 87. So equal time rule was 34. Fairness doctrine was 49, later expanded to cover public TV. Then in 1987 was removed, the fairness doctrine. But the equal time rule actually still is in play. And that is what the FCC is saying, is that you have to give Jasmine Crockett equal time. That makes sense. Now, the Republicans are doing this because they want to split the vote. They want Jasmine to have as much airtime and they just want Tallarico to be where he's at because he's the great white hope. But you're not flipping Texas. I don't foresee.
All order to be a Democrat in Texas fighting for a Senate seat. While we were kind of hashing over the FCC rules, I went ahead and looked at James Tallarico's page. It says that James is an 8th generation Texas former middle school teacher and Presbyterian seminarian. As a state representative, he's led the fight against the billionaire mega donors and puppet politicians who have taken over Texas. Now he's running for the U.S. Senate to take his fight against corruption to Washington and win power back for working people. Working people. And my very first thought, first of all, again, just the main point of you're a Democrat and you're going to kick off your political career fighting in Texas. How far do you think that's going to roll? Especially with somebody who looks a little bit like Elliot Page.
Oh shit. You dropped that on him. Did you should have dead named him. You should have said Ellen. You should have said Ellen Page, bro.
You are an idiot.
What's funny, really funny, is this notion here that he's talking about win power back for working people, when literally in every corner where we see the Democrats hard at work, they seem to be doing the exact opposite. They seem to be fighting for the 1% to 2% and leaving working people far in the dust. Look at what's happening in New York with Mamdani and the property taxes.
That's next. What's next?
Okay, I won't go too far ahead of
so
my
close,
curve then,
so close.
But you see where I'm heading.
I do. And listen, and Tommy, you were dead balls accurate right there. You're only a few years off. But remember, it was radio. I think back in 49, I'd have to look, but there couldn't have been more than a handful of percentage of the population with TV sets. And remember, the population was, 125 million back then? Maybe less? So
what year, I'll tell you.
1949. Take a look.
Yeah, hold on.
Maybe 125 million, 105, 125? Maybe.
In 49, it was taxes. Here it is. 49.
Ooh, no, 49 might have been higher than that. Maybe
48. Oh, no, wait. 142,164,569.
I was close. I said just a little higher than that, right? So yeah, I was thinking 40 sub 38, 40.
Oh, 161. My bad.
What was it in sub 38, sub 40?
38. Yeah, right around 142 million. And 1949, it was 161,325,798.
So that makes sense. 75 years, we've doubled, almost 58% higher than what we were. Okay, so I would bet TV stations were probably our TVs in households were probably less than 1% of the population, and probably 75, maybe 100 stations across the entire United States, maybe that. So it didn't cover that because public broadcasting wasn't even a glint in their daddy's eye. But once it really happened when NBC took over the debates, and this is where the colors changed. Originally, Republicans were blue and Democrats were red. And that's because 2 out of the 3 stations, being CBS, ABC, and NBC, had the colors as Republicans as blue and Democrats as red. And then NBC came in, and they got the Kennedy and Nixon debate, and they had the first colored broadcasts. And they went ahead and changed the colors to red for Republicans and blue for Democrats. And because the ratings were so strong, the other stations followed suit. So a little bit of history there. But that's when it was expanded. I mean, it was expanded from 1950 to like 1968, 69.
Yeah.
Is the big push for public access. And that's when that equal time and fairness doctrine matriculated and then did that, what do you call that? Umbrella policy, which covered TV and then obviously covered internet and other things later in life, and cable.
Think about that. That one subtle change throughout a TV station had that color theme carried through to now, and the Republicans had been the blue party. I guarantee with the creativeness that you see in social media right now, people would have already linked, oh, the red party, the Democrat red party. Oh, that happens to be the same color as the Soviet flag. That's the same color as the Chinese flag. What a coincidence.
That is exactly why it was done. And it was done because of McCarthyism and the negative connotation from the media. But remember, they had already started shutting down the Screen Actors Guild. Ronald Reagan had already started pushing Montgomery Clift, John Wayne.
Right.
They went after the Screenwriters Guild because the communists had moved into Hollywood to try to Saul Alinsky the fucking thing and take over with propaganda. When those people were excommunicated from the Screenwriters Guild, they all fell back in their liberal arts degrees and started applying to colleges and became teachers. And this is what indoctrinated the school and the education system. But McCarthyism was a huge thing, and the raging Reds are coming. The Reds are coming.
Right.
This became the overall beginning of the shift of how color and how overall position from optics made a huge point in appeal to politics. Now, a lot of people will say that Nixon and Kennedy, when they had their debate, Kennedy was in a blue suit and he had makeup done and his hair done, and Nixon was in a brown suit with a green shirt and he was sick. He had a stomach bug. He was extremely pale. Looks a little like me, and he didn't come off as looking good on the TV. Now, there's people now who are coming back and saying, "Oh, that's bullshit." Nixon lost. Well, Nixon was an amazing debater, and Nixon was an amazing president, and he did incredible, great things for foreign policy, and did not want to go into Indochina and did not want to do these things. But he was a rabid anti-communist, and that night with Kennedy, he didn't come across as well. This literally changed the way that the party politics took place. And the Democrats started focusing on more appealing candidates, more elitist class, and started selling the Camelot story.
Yeah.
And this is where we started seeing that the South started to move from the Dixiecrats and started to move towards conservatism because the working party was abandoned by the Democrats. And they started actually curtailing we know that. And they started curtailing their policy to the Great Society of moving in with minorities and get them addicted to government. This was antithetical to what the South wanted. And that's why you saw a lot of the racist Democrats move over and start, leaning towards that middle center and looking at people like Goldwater and not the mainstream Republicans. Well, we know what happened in this supposed great party switch is things move forward, civil rights progress, and the South started to become appealing for more Northerners to move to. You started seeing matriculation. You started seeing people moving in and out of state. And eventually the South became less racist because conservatives went there and you saw a change in the demographic, not party principles, right? You know this, and I'm telling people this who are listening to, but all of these things are very interesting. I want to write a book on it someday. Like, I want to destroy the party switch because it really pisses me off at how stupid that entire thing is. It never happened. Go ahead.
One quick last comment on this, but the fact that you're making an excellent point, which was way back then, early 40s, late 40s, when we started to see Hollywood be infiltrated by communism, when we saw this change with the color scheme, when we are told one thing and then something else happens. That seemed to be the very beginning of what the Democrats still use to this day, which is a philosophy of, in the absence of strength, deception.
Right.
Like that was the beginning of it. That was the genesis of that type of movement.
Well, I mean, but you can go back even further, and I'm not undercutting your argument. I'm agreeing with you, but you can go back to the days of Nietzsche, and you can go back to Da Vinci and Michelangelo, and this classism was there, and it was the replacement of theocratic and theology to be replaced by scientists. And you can go back to Plato, right? So the Catholic Church had to discredit science because it was pulling away. When you remove the theocratic principles of a country, which is what socialism, communism, and activism wants to do, right? These radicalists, is you remove the faith of the people, you remove their language, you remove the right to protect themselves, and you slowly erode their ability for self-sustainment and self-fulfillment. The actualization of that is what keeps them strong. I mean, the pharaohs learned this with the Egyptians. That's why they banned writing tools, and they were only allowed to pray to the gods that the Egyptians said. So once you do that, you have to replace it with something. And this is where the church tried to fight this. And there was open resistance and open rebellion and almost a war between science and theology. And people like Da Vinci and Plato and Socrates, and you saw these resistances of science replacing religion for people, and you're still seeing it today. So when you read Nietzsche and you read Darwin, and I've got this book here for you. I want to send it to you. It's great by T.S. Dixon, as he really goes into it, how this has been going on for hundreds and hundreds of years. It's just a different formation. It's just a different format, whether it's Maoism or whether it's Marxist-Leninism, or whether it's radical leftists or whether it's anarchy, whatever it is, it all starts with a very specific set of rules that you just mentioned, which are laid out in the Saul Alinsky playbook, which is disinformation, division, propaganda, deception. Gaslighting, deception. Absolutely. Yeah, 120%. Disruption at the highest extent. Good conversation, man. I love this shit. I love it when we wax intellectual. Mamdani tax hike article, would lead to tax increases. He wants to empty the coffers. He's saying that New York is in an absolute financial crisis, that it is bleeding billions with a B, and he is proposing increased property taxes. A rent increase is what that means. Remember, these are the people who wanted free housing and free buses. No, that's not going to happen. These are the people who wanted a wage increase. Oh, no, that's not going to happen. And now he wants to go ahead and increase taxes on what he says is the wealthy class. Leeroy, tell me what he defines as wealthy. Give me the number a year. See if you can come up with it. In New York. In New York.
See, I actually don't know that much about
Give me
it.
a guess.
I
Give me a
will
guess.
tell you $1 million plus.
You would think. I'm going to give you another guess, and we're going to play high-low. Lower.
650,000.
Lower.
450,000.
Lower.
$350,000.
Lower.
No way. $250,000.
Lower.
200,000.
Lower.
150,000.
On the fucking nosy.
Dude, that is
poverty
barely
level.
Scraping by.
That
New
is
York.
poverty level in New York City. 150,000 to 175,000. the actual tax break will be within a buffer of $25,000 before paying full equity to the lower threshold. Which means it's pennies. So he's going after the middle class. He's going after the middle class. Here's the video. This is what they voted for, man. I don't know what to tell you. Here's the older millennial who breaks it down for you.
So in his first 6 months in office, Mamdani not only put forward the largest budget in the history of New York City, but now he's going to raise taxes on the middle class by about 10% and raid 99% of New York City's cash reserves.
At the heart of this path is a property tax increase.
Larry, it's good to see you here, man.
This would effectively be a tax on working and middle-class New Yorkers who have a median income of $122,000.
Oh my God.
The second path also requires us to raid our reserves. It would mean withdrawing $980 million from our city's rainy day fund in fiscal year 2026 and $229 million from the Retiree Health Benefit Trust in fiscal year 2027.
So his plan is to spend more money than New York City has ever spent in its history and pay for it by taxing people who make $120,000 or more, which in New York City is definitely middle class or even closer to lower class. And even combined with all of that, he is going to spend 99% of the cash reserves. This is what you voted for? So in his first 6 months in office...
Socialism, man, just like Novocaine and rat poison.
Democratic socialism.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you. Or also known as progressivism. Dude, this is the same thing they're doing. You guys, if we do not rally, if we do not show up in November, we deserve everything we get. And I will tell you, I will never advocate for the Republican Party ever again. Every single mother needs to get out there and vote and ensure that they don't Virginia my United States, that they don't California my United States, that they don't New York my United States. Because Virginia, you guys, they are putting an amendment and we're voting on it by April 21st. And you know what the Democrat commercial says? It says Republicans are trying to redistrict Virginia and take away your voice. They're lying. It's not, it's the Democrats. They're in power. They're the ones who are trying to redistrict a 10-to-1 ratio. It's not the Republicans. They're fucking lying to Virginians. They're just openly broadcasting on the airwaves. How are they not sued? I saw the commercial like 7 times today on Fox. I'm going to try to record it for you so you guys can see it. It's the most deceptive gaslighting I've ever seen in my life. And this is Freudenschraubt, man. This is like, they are just absolutely celebrating our pain. They're celebrating this. Yeah. Take our guns, tax us. Our fucking electric bill was $750. I've got a heat pump. It's the most economically viable device on the planet. It takes condensation out of the air and with that process goes ahead and heats up the house. How am I paying $750 for energy? We got to move. Go ahead.
Margaret Thatcher. Margaret Thatcher once said that the problem with socialism is that you eventually run out of other people's money. I think that can be revised to modernize it and say that the problem with democratic socialism is eventually you're going to run out of taxpayers.
Oh, especially if you keep murdering them in the womb. Right? I mean, seriously. Unreal. Oh, man, we're getting our asses kicked in VA, dude. We are just getting our asses kicked. And the bitch is not going to stop. I've got so much to cover, but I can't. But I got to cover this. I got to expose Tucker Carlson. I've got to do it. But first, oh, my God, what a piece of shit. You guys, I told you about Marjorie Taylor Greene. I told you. All right? You know I did. I told you about Tucker. I told you about Candace. I told you about Steve Bannon. Nobody's really talking about Steve Bannon lately. Is that because like pedo alert or what? I'm gonna tell you about Tucker one more time. After we do this, USA wins gold, and I got to show my Canadian fans. I know they're all really worried about this. Watch.
for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net.
Oh, nice shot.
That is nasty. That is pure. Like, there's only one woman's sport that I'll watch that's any good. And no, it's not soccer. And no, it's not basketball.
Volleyball?
Nope. Oh, watch it for a different reason. But women's hockey is actually pretty exceptional. Keller comes down the left side boards and then just completely does a complete toe drag without the toe. And it's a power move. This is a power forwards move. And she takes the puck and she drags it, but lifts her stick up and allows the puck to go past the defenseman slowly. It is, and then they ultimately break the defenseman's ankle. The defenseman actually did a very good job of defending this, surprisingly enough. They did the best that they could, but this was just pure gold. Watch this again.
The outlet pass for Keller, a defenseman. Nice move, cuts to the net, score!
And then a slow trickle through the 5-hole. United States wins gold. And God, I can't wait for hockey.
United States wins gold in Milan.
That's great to see. The women deserved it. I think they shut out every single team up until when Canada scored that one goal. It was incredible. So good for them. Here's Tucker. Watch this video.
I'm Rick Sanchez, and I wanted to comment on the situation with Tucker Carlson.
I am here to say that Rick Sanchez is a complete dildo. 100%. Ribbed for your pleasure. And I will tell you that every single thing he says is just a flat-out lie. Because I'm going to show you the video. Carlson told the Daily Mail exclusively that shortly after the interview, Israeli officials confiscated his passport and hauled off his executive producer to an interrogation room. Men who identified themselves as airport security took our passports, hauled our executive producer in a safe side room, and then demanded to know what we spoke to Ambassador Huckabee about. It was bizarre. Mr. Carlson and his party were politely asked a few routine questions. So this is Israel. Israel Airport Authority, contrary to the reports, Tucker Carlson and his entourage were not detained, delayed, or interrogated. Mr. Carlson and his party were politely asked a few routine questions in accordance with the standard procedures applied to many travelers. The conversation took place in a separate room with a VIP lounge solely to protect their privacy and to avoid conducting such a discussion in public. No unusual incident occurred, and the Israeli Airport Authority firmly rejects any other claims. Not only that, I have evidence, and I'll show it to you, that he took photographs with them and smiled and put his arms around them. This literally was a 1 to 2 minute thing. But of course, Tucker Carlson is an anti-Semitic douche fuck. We know this, and he's a Putin sucker, and he's a Qatari taker on the side with all of his money. The guy hates Jews. He didn't meet with the Christian party that was there. There was multiple groups of Christians who wanted to meet with him there in Israel. He refused. He went after Mike Huckabee for no reason, who is a man of God, a man of faith, and happens to be the ambassador of Israel. And this Yahoo right here, Rick the Dick Sanchez, literally takes it. I'm done being nice about this. I'm going to treat him. If you lie on the public forum, you're not an intellectual. You're not an intellectual. But he sits there and he sucks Tucker Carlson off and tries to make connections to tie the Jews to some oppressive regime. And he openly admits that he was detained by Iran for 2.5 hours. Listen to this and you tell me if I'm wrong.
Hey, everybody, I'm Rick Sanchez, and I wanted to comment on the situation with Tucker Carlson. Full transparency, Tucker is my friend. He and I communicate quite often, just this morning, I communicated with him, not to divulge anything that we communicated about, but the reason I say that is because I trust Tucker.
Right.
And if Tucker says that he was detained or felt like he was detained at Ben Gurion Airport, then I take him at his word, despite what many in the media are doing, which is criticizing him, The Independent. I was just reading an article. They have a huge headline that says Tucker Carlson claims. The word claims implies that they're doubting his story. They're basically trying to call him a liar. I think this is an important story. And let me say something to you, and maybe this is kind of a teaser, but let me ask you a question, or maybe I'm asking myself this question. If I had a choice between being detained or held by Israeli security officials or Iranian security officials, which one would I choose and why? I'm going to give the answer to that question in just a little bit, and I have a little bit of experience with it because
wow, what a teaser, Ricky.
Double deep tea.
Give him the heater, Ricky.
I was just recently detained by Iranian security officials for 2.5 hours, kind of similar to the situation that Tucker was in. And let me tell
it wasn't similar at all.
you something. No matter who detains you, when you lose your freedom and you feel vulnerable like that, it's scary as hell, okay? You don't know what's going on. You know you can't leave. You know you're being held, and you don't know what's going to happen, and it gets a little dicey. So let's go back to what Tucker situation is. So Tucker Carlson.
I will tell you, I have traveled in international airports all over the world, and never have I felt scared or intimidated. And I went through some shithole countries, and so has Leeroy. And I have never felt scared or the airports are usually the only place that's relatively safe. But security is there, especially in Israel, when people want to murder and kill any Jew they can find. And I'm going to make a point at the end of this. Leeroy, don't let me forget it, because you're going to comment first.
Went along with his business partner, Neil Patel. There's a picture of them now that Tucker put out. It's the only one that they have put out so far. While they were there at Ben Gurion Airport, after arriving, they went to have a meeting with Mike Huckabee. And after the meeting with Mike Huckabee,
have you ever been to Ben Gurion?
Mm-mm.
One of the nicest airports you'll ever be in your life. And one of the most secure and safe. You have IDF everywhere. Everywhere. Absolutely everywhere. And if you go into Israel, you get asked questions. Leaving is the easiest thing in the world. Coming in is not. And you get questioned,
well,
and you sense. Well, of course it is. You get randoed all the time. I went into Ben Gurion two times. Both were in and then flew out with Mac. But flew in to airport and got stopped both times. Was asked a series of questions, very similar with international travel with a passport.
Right.
Very similar. Nothing bad. And then I did not get extra pat downs because this was pre 9/11. All right, here's the rest.
Back to the airport. But first of all, why the meeting with Mike Huckabee? He went to meet with Mike Huckabee because Huckabee had taken offense to the fact that Tucker had criticized him. Why had Tucker criticized him? Tucker had criticized him because Mike Huckabee is a Christian.
Here comes the mass slippage. I hate Jews. Listen closely, Mr. Ricky Sanchez.
Zionist. He is a neocon, kind of like a Lindsey Graham type. Or Hillary Clinton type, exactly the same in that sense.
No,
Mr. Huckabee seems, even though he works for the United States and is the ambassador from the United States to Israel, he always seems much more beholden and much more loyal to Israel than he is to the United States.
Oh my
by
God.
far. So it's curious because that's not usually the role of a diplomat when he's sent overseas to represent his country. Tucker has said that.
I just hit him on it quick.
Well, I mean, he said he's telling you to your face that he's lying to you.
Yes.
Because he says it seems that this particular political individual cares more about Israel. It seems that way. Not that it is. He just said it. I don't know if anybody else caught that.
No,
That's called a Freudian slip.
The whole time he's been undercutting his argument by using language that is designed to protect him from any legal ramifications. Because Huckabee has said, in not so many words, go fuck yourself.
Right.
I'll see you in court. Now, Mike would never say that because that's not who he is. I would say that. Here's the rest. You guys stick around. I'm going to show you the video and you're going to shit. And if you watch Tucker anymore after this, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not going to ever try to tell you who to watch, but I'm telling you from an integrity standpoint, it better just be pure entertainment. Like when you're watching Candace, like you're reading the National Enquirer or watching WWE wrestling.
Occasions. And he's absolutely, I believe, right in that
I believe.
criticism.
I believe.
So
I
Mr.
believe.
Huckabee then took to social media and started criticizing Mr. Carlson, basically saying something to the effect of, oh, you're a big guy criticizing me. Why don't you come and say this stuff to my face? Which is pretty much what he told him. And Tucker said, okay.
Pretty much.
I'll go talk to you to your face. And which is why Tucker is in Israel talking to him. Somewhat courageous of Tucker to go there, by the way. So
why?
Tucker's story is that
why do you think that Israel is going to kill Tucker fucking Carlson? You people are such idiots. It's like when you're a hammer, everything's a Jew.
after he did the interview with Huckabee, he was stopped by security officials at the airport, and those officials at the airport took his passport and his producer into a holding area and started interviewing him, debriefing him. I don't know what word you want to use, but when you
routine security checks.
What a great way to make it sound like an innocuous thing happened.
Excuse me, I have a few more questions if you don't mind.
That you're literally blowing this up over a routine check.
Correct.
Being asked questions you don't necessarily want to answer, and you know you have permission from the ambassador of the United States in that country. Why are they doing?
You're not in the United States. You're in an Israeli airport, dick shit, and you have to follow international travel rules. That's the way this works.
Why are they asking him questions? Call Mike Huckabee.
Because they want to. That's why.
Yep.
And I'll tell you why right after this, and then I'm going to let Leeroy cook.
He works for you too, and for the United States of America, right? Dual role. Why are you asking me these questions? Why are you taking my passport? Why are you doing these things? I think it's a legitimate complaint. I think it's a legitimate question, and I think that's the one that Tucker's raising.
Even though you were acquiesced to Iran's request for 2.5 hours, you Muslim dick sucker. Here's what it comes down to, and I'm going to put this whole thing right now. Just lay it out here, and you guys tell me if I'm crazy. Let's watch the video first. Watch this. Here's Tucker Carlson. Here's the closed caption TV. You know what? No, we're going to do this first. Here's the thing.
FTG.
This is what I'm going to tell you right now. If they wouldn't have stopped him, you know what he would have said?
Security was a nightmare.
Security was a nightmare. The Jews did nothing. I got through with a tube of toothpaste, and you know what? They didn't give a shit about me. What type of security do they have here in this country? Why do they hate me so much? Why do the Jews hate me? Where they wouldn't, that's what he would have done, because he's a fucking cunt. Jurlation is the word I was looking for. Cudgelation. It's a cudgel, and it's the act of cudgeling. Here's the video. Watch the oppression. Watch the oppression. It's so, God, those Jews. It's horrible. You ready? Here it is.
Yeah.
You don't know the power of the dark side.
What? Wait, is it? You're taking a selfie?
Look where I'm at, Mom.
You're taking a selfie? Wow. I will tell you, I have not seen such atrocities since Greta Thunberg was there. That's horrible.
Matt, this is my passport. I'm going to hand this to you, and then after you hand it back, I'm going to say, "Why did it take so long?"
Right.
What were you looking for? Why do you think you have the right to take that from me? Gee, sir, I'm just trying to make sure that you're supposed to be, that you are who you say you are. No. You're treating me different, and I don't like it.
Yeah. And once again, if they wouldn't have asked him, he would say something else. Well, they singled me out. Right. They didn't even talk to me. There's pictures now coming through of him taking pictures with female IDF soldiers. And the Jews don't hate him. They have every reason not to like his weaselly little ass. And they don't. They treat him with respect. I don't understand why people hate the Jews so much, and I'm so tired of it. It just pisses me off. I can understand, I don't want my money go. Fine. But for you to go into one of the safest airports in the world, who is constantly under threat, if you don't believe me, go look at Kabul airport. You want to see how many terrorist attacks were in Kabul while we were in country? Israel is ran as tight as it can, and it protects itself, and it protects its international travelers. He was not detained. He did a random check and they took him to a private area so he would not be embarrassed. I don't know if you guys know this, but the Jews are pretty big on not shaming people. It's kind of a big part of their religion. And when they do finally tear their clothing and they ostracize family members or friends and shun them, and this is more the Hasidic Jewish religion and the portions of more stricter theological beliefs around this, shunning is a very serious thing. And you don't want to make people feel that way unless it's an absolute necessity. So I don't understand. I don't care. We get detained longer in TSA airports in the United States, for God's sakes. And you're going to sit here and be like, my freedoms. He's such a douche. That's all I got to say. I probably shouldn't insult him, but I don't give a shit.
I like that whole scene with him in the airport. Honestly, this is just because this is how my mind works. I was wondering if any of the throwers said, you know, I had that line from Fight Club that throwers don't worry about modern bombs because modern bombs don't tick. Yeah. And I was like, man, would it be hilarious if they found an adult toy in his luggage?
Occasionally, we have suitcases that vibrate. And
9 times out of 10,
it's an
electric
razor. But that one time, it might be a dildo. You don't mention the dildo.
Of course, in the event of
the unfortunate event of finding
dildo, we have to use the indefinite article a dildo, never
your dildo. That's so funny.
I don't own a dildo.
That's right. That's such a great movie. He's just like,
it's okay.
No, it's fine. I'm not asking. Guys, this is pretty hilarious. We're going to end on this tonight. Carolyn Levitt gets a reporter that says, I don't remember anyone ever saying that Donald Trump was a racist.
Only every 10 seconds for the last 10 years in media.
Well, here it is.
To put up
folks, we got coffee on sale. We've got shirts, we've got hats, we've got books. Go on over to the store, pick up some coffee. We sold a shit ton of bags last week. And I know people are waiting for the jacket giveaway tomorrow as well. But if you haven't had a chance, go pick up shirt, hat, whatever you want. We've got great clothes over there. Go give it a shot. See what you think. Here is the rest of this. One more video, and then we're out of here.
Interpretive materials and provide a fuller account of the history of slavery at Independence Hall. What more was the administration, or is the administration, planning to add?
I'm not familiar with this specific instance, Ed, to be honest with you, but I will check in with the appropriate people who are overseeing this, and we'll get you a more firm answer.
One other question. Then yesterday, in his statement about Jesse Jackson, the president said, despite the fact that I'm falsely and consistently called a racist by the scoundrels and lunatics on the radical left, Democrats all, it was always my pleasure to help Jesse along the way. Where or when does the president believe he's been falsely called racist?
You're kidding, right? I will pull you plethora of examples. I'm going to get my team in that room to start going through the internet of radical Democrats throughout the years, Ed, who have accused this president falsely of being a racist. And I'm sure there's many people in this room and on network television across the country who have accused him of the same. In fact, I know that because I've seen it with my own eyes. And the president very much looks forward to having an event later this afternoon at 3 p.m. to celebrate Black History Month and to talk about how his policies are advancing opportunity and prosperity for all Americans through record tax cuts, through the Trump accounts that all Americans can access regardless of race. These are a great thing for the next generation of Americans. The president has also awarded hundreds of millions of dollars in additional funding to strengthen educational outcomes at historically Black colleges and universities across the country. Again, the president is protecting the hard-earned benefits of the 2.4 million Black veterans who honorably served in our nation's armed forces forces by reducing the backlog of veterans waiting for their VA benefits and for their home loans through the Department of Veterans Affairs. So there is a lot this president has done for all Americans, regardless of race, and he has absolutely been falsely called and smeared as a racist, and I'm happy to provide you those receipts.
That's okay, Miss Levitt, because I already got it for you. Here is me just taking... I need some prednisone. Holy shit. I did the job for you. And I decided to make it even harder. Because racist, well, for me it isn't. So I decided to make it more difficult, and I went back through the annals of history, and racist was too easy. Like I swear to you, I must have had 700 opportunities to clip videos. So I said, well, let's make it harder. Let's see if they compared him to a Nazi or a Hitler, because that was Jen Psaki.
Oh, numerous times.
And Claude Jean Pierre's number one argument. They never compared him to Hitler. That's not true. So here you go. Enjoy this. I know I enjoyed it a lot. Enjoy.
That Donald Trump is Hitler. I wouldn't say
I don't think any Democrat has. I actually, and I think it's a smear that they project back on to critics.
What is the natural extension, Justin, if he pursues this to Harvard and beyond?
There was an authoritarian leader several decades back called Adolf Hitler. Hitler came to power and the scientists left.
The military survive in that climate.
In the same way that it happened in Russia with Stalin, the same way it happened with Hitler, eventually you get generals and admirals that are in there that only tell the leader what he or she wants to hear.
To the extent that the rule of law and an assault on the rule of law was an obscure, intangible thing, we're now seeing it in action.
If you look back in history, you can see very similar parallels that took place in other countries that really went down that authoritarian road, including in pre-World War II Nazi Germany, when Hitler and Nazi officials basically took over Frankfurt University, which was the bastion of independent thought and progressive thinking and independent thinking, which is what Hitler didn't want. And so again, this is what authoritarians do. They try to control all of the aspects of social life.
When Trump talks about peace and Putin talks about peace, it's autocrats getting their way. That's it. And Mussolini and Hitler said they were being the purveyors of peace.
I resisted for a long time analogies to Hitler's Germany. I've got in my Substack today, though, it's really uncanny. The same episode where Hitler, early in his tenure, before he's totally taken over the government, some local prosecutors go after his brown shirts, and they convict them, sends them, and then he releases them. It's really the same thing.
Throwback to what?
Yeah.
Throwback to what? Poisoning the blood.
I mean, that is literally Hitlerian rhetoric.
Right.
And I understand.
What do people
Hitlerian? Oh my God.
think of what happened to us? The parallel here is to maybe show up on the shores and say, no, we'll go with Hitler. I mean, what do they think about the switching of sides with the turning of who occupies the Oval Office? I believe every voter who casts a vote, regardless of who they vote for, has to know that Donald Trump believes Hitler did some good things.
That is one person who said all that, and there are hundreds of other opportunities. Leeroy, I need your opinion on that. And then I realized I skipped over you on Tucker, and I'm sorry.
Okay.
I'm really under the weather, and I don't feel very good. And I know sometimes I get going, and I apologize. Okay. So why don't you do Tucker, and then you take the racist Nazi bullshit?
I don't have a whole lot to talk about with Tucker. I already find him to be kind of a despicable human being. And I don't know that maybe he is an anti-Semite. But more so, I see him as worse. I see him as somebody who's willing to, he's an opportunist. He's willing to turn anybody over so long as he gets a rating or a couple of bucks out of the deal. So that's kind of the class of human that I throw him in, just the absolute scum of the earth right now. Now, that being said, we've discussed this on the show before. One of the key hallmarks of fascism, real Hitlerian, which I like that, is that if you are an authoritarian fascist, one of the things to look for is that you own the press, right? Because that's how you spread the authoritarian message. This is how you say, look, we're doing this for God and country. And that is actually what Hitler did. He took over the media. That's how he got his word out. Here is a case where the media is fighting against him. So does that comparison still hold true then? Is he really a fascist? When it's the media who is turning on him, clearly he doesn't control the media. They might claim that, but I mean, they're all out there saying their piece. So I find that to be kind of a hilarious comparison.
Don't even mention guns and religion either, which is
Right,
also what fascists are.
I had made a video, this is last year, where this is back when Kamala was running, and the white-haired gay gentleman, reporter,
Anderson Cooper.
Anderson Cooper had basically said, "Do you think that Donald Trump is do you think he's a fascist?" And Kamala looked at him and said, "Absolutely. Oh, yes, I think he's a fascist." And then I played the Reagan piece right after that. Well, what is fascism? Fascism is, it can be thought of as a liberal ideology. That if fascism ever comes to the United States, it's going to come in the form of liberalism. And then the very next thing, right, is Donald Trump rolling back regulations, rolling back decades worth of government regulations. When if you are a true fascist authoritarian, it's the wrong way. Right? If you are truly an authoritarian, you're going to add regulations, not subtract from them. So I always found that to be hilarious. He doesn't control the government. He's rolled back not only prices, but also government regulations. And employment has been at a record high at some points, and inflation has been at a record low. So if that's your criteria, then he is the worst fascist ever.
Some would say that it's so funny that it's Hitlerian.
I like that.
Yeah, me too.
I'm going to use that.
Leeroy with the science, folks.
Yeah, Mr. White. Yes,
science, bitch.
We've done it. We've done it 100 times here. Want to thank everybody. My last thing that I will say is about 2.5 years ago, when Trump was ready to run, I said the number one thing that is going to kill the liberals is that they are not going to be able to prove that he is a Nazi, fascist, xenophobic, homophobic, racist, Bible-thumping, gun-grabbing, transphobe, whatever, xenophobe, and anything else. And when they can't prove it, and they run on it, America's not going to accept that. And I'm telling you, in 2028, they're going to run on the same thing. 2026, they're going to run on the same thing too. And the only thing that stopped them in 2024 is we showed up. Not only showed up, but it was a 9 million vote swing. 9 million. 5 million less Democrats showed up. 4 million more Republicans showed up. And it was a royal ass whooping. And if we don't do that again, we're going to get crushed. And he's going to get impeached, and this time he's going to get convicted. They will convict him next time. The Senate will turn on him quicker than snot on a slide. They will absolutely crush him because he has no more power. Once he's impeached and the House has those impeachment proceedings, they will jump all over him to jump away from him. So people need to be aware of this. We need to get out and vote. So we're going to be talking about it. Leeroy, appreciate you. Final minute, buddy. Anything else you got? Call it out. If not,
hell yeah.
I need to go and croak.
Don't do that. We hope you feel better. I'll send you a bottle of whiskey. Listen, thank you so much to everybody who donated tonight. Mel, Angela, Frank Wood, Bobby Richardson. You guys are rock stars. Thank you so much. Please don't forget to tune into future shows. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Share it with your friends. That's the only way the word gets out. And please pick up a bag of coffee. We have shirts. We have hoodies in the store. Matt does an excellent job, kind of managing that site. So please utilize it. And past that, I'm just grateful to be here. I caught the show yesterday. Tonto is an amazing man. I would like to sit down and talk to him at some point, not about Benghazi, but about like just general life philosophy. Because I could tell he and I are on, similar. We have similar thoughts about things. So I truly enjoyed that show. Matt did an excellent job on that interview. Please keep it up.
Did you have a chance watching that? I didn't. Oh, good. I'm glad you did, man. He's a good dude. All right, folks, that's it. That's all we got. Tomorrow night, it's Jacket Friday. Make sure to bring your 25 in it to win it. We're going to try to give away another couple jackets again. So end of the month, we're pushing hard. Thanks for watching. Jessica Lynch did respond. She will be on the show. She is fully accepted to come on. So that's huge. Nice. Leeroy, I'm assuming you'll want to be on that. She's going to be awesome. We also have state senator who's running for Virginia Senate here. He's going to be in-house. He's like, listen, I want to be on your podcast. I want to get my word out. What do I do? And I said, you come on. He's like, can I come to your house? Yes. So he's going to come to our house. He's going to do it here, and he's going to pitch on Virginia, and we're going to get the word out there. We got Jack and Mandy coming. We're going to be showing their latest documentary, which is Marxism in America. And we got Paul Kafortis coming in, who is the Charlie Bubbles book author. We've got like an Instagram social media influencer who's really, we've got a shit ton of people coming. So hang tight. We'll get there. We'll see you guys tomorrow night, Friday. And God bless and take care of each other. Leeroy, thanks, buddy, as always.
Have a good night, everyone.
Good night, everybody. See ya. Oh, you can go, Leeroy. Sorry, buddy. I got to tell him something. Final video. You guys are going to see the scroll. It has everyone who's donated. We're updating that every 90 days. Thank you. I need to get well. I feel like shit. I feel horrible. I've got a fever. I'm 102 and I have no energy and I feel horrible. You can see it in my face. But the end video or closing credits, you'll see everybody scroll who's donated. We updated that. We got everybody in there. If your name isn't there or it's spelled wrong, just tell me, let me know, and we'll get it fixed. Don't take it personal. Don't get upset. We have 500 names on there, and we had to put each one in one at a time. So please take a look at that, check it, make sure it's right. If your name's not on there, just let me know, Matt at the Dumb Show, or if it's spelled wrong, also let me know. Don't ever take offense to that. It's not personal. We try to get everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday night. See ya.
This is the Don't Unfriend Me Show with your hosts, Matt, Leeroy, Amy, and Olivia. Geopolitics, military analysis, and election coverage. Coming to you live on all major social media channels at The Dumb Show. Honest, direct, unfiltered. We can agree, we can disagree. Just don't unfriend me.